The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93X.
All right, well, there you go. Welcome, folks, to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Here we are broadcasting live from St. Croix Casino, Turtle Lake in Turtle Lake, Wisconsin. No. Got a good crowd out there. Take a look at this crowd.
Are you practicing for tomorrow? Because we're in our crappy studio.
Broadcasting live right now from the beautiful Sports Bar.
You've lost
Sports
it completely,
Book.
haven't you?
If you look around, TVs everywhere. You can cover and follow just about every friggin' game possible from where we sit right here live at Turtle Lake Casino.
Well, where we sit tomorrow. Yeah, here's the difference.
For Christ's sake, you guys, could you not play along? My line of thought was if we could convince enough people this morning that we're broadcasting live from the casino, then we wouldn't have to do it tomorrow. Thanks for blowing it.
That's a great idea.
We were concerned
Jesus
about
balls.
you.
Yeah.
I'm looking around, and I don't see a disappointed face anywhere, so I know we're not broadcasting live because I'm used to seeing people going, I thought there'd be more than this.
Thought I could trust you. I thought I could trust you to play along. But now we're going to have to broadcast tomorrow from the casino. And don't mistake where I'm trying to go with this. This is no offense to the casino, obviously. They're hosting this party for us. We've got a nice relationship with the people. We just hate on-location broadcasts. I was trying to fool the crowd into and then tomorrow we could just sleep in.
Yeah, that wouldn't be so bad. And especially since it's, we kind of found out how things are going to work. It's all station related, and this could be a disaster tomorrow. If we get on, we have the best engineer in radio. We truly do. But he's going to be hamstrung by what happens back here because he'll be stuck in Wisconsin.
I was going to go even further with this. I was going to say things like, hey, has anybody had a drink yet? Who's made a bet? Did you play some cards last night? Hey, look at that dude with the attitude T-shirt there in the crowd.
How much money did you
Where'd
win?
you get that T-shirt? Tomorrow we'll do this, actually, live from Turtle Lake.
And you're right, Josh. I've done enough of these remote broadcasts in my life that you just kind of bank on the rule that anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah, probably.
There you go. For now, we are just sitting right here in Minneapolis in our regular garbage studios. Later today, we'll be headed in that direction. Party starts tonight. Yeah, we don't like on-location broadcasts. We've made that clear before.
It's just we can't.
Is there any radio team that enjoys an on-location broadcast? I don't know any other radio people.
Doubt it.
Ones that don't really care how it goes. I think that's part of it. Because we don't have. The reason we don't like it is we don't have access to anything we normally would. So you're hamstrung on what you're capable of doing. And so many things can go wrong that you have no control over.
Yesterday, we spent a lot of time talking about hard labor jobs. It would be like walking up to a contractor and saying, hey, go build this outhouse. I'll give you a putty knife and a pack of gum. You know what I mean? Go build us something. Hey, but here's the thing, is like all of the on-location broadcasts that we've done over the years, and we've hated them all, like all of them, we're not going to let that ruin our good time as we head out to Wisco today.
No, the hanging part's fun.
Yeah, that's the best part.
The broadcast part.
Just hanging.
Yeah, we get to chill. Medical Device Jesus said if it makes us feel any better, listeners also hate hearing on-location broadcasts.
Yeah, we know.
That does. I like the solidarity of the brother and sisterhood.
Solidarity is the word. So there you go. We'll be heading out this afternoon. Party starts tonight. Yeah. We're not enthusiastic about the live broadcast, but we do it for the love of our listening audience, and even more than that, we do it for the money.
Wait, you guys get paid extra for this?
Not at all.
We do it for the money. Josh and I will be rooming together tonight.
Yeah, we're having a slumber
nice.
party.
That's hot.
Not because we have to, but because we want to. When was the last time we slept together?
I was thinking about this. Funny you bring that up. I was thinking about it yesterday. I don't think it's been since we broadcast from the X Games.
The X Games?
When we were in Aspen.
Oh, my damn.
Oh, okay.
Remember, you almost got in a fist fight with a coworker.
Yes, I did. Oh, and I would have enjoyed every second of it. All they would have had to do was just shift their weight forward.
Yep.
And I would have dumped a bomb into their jaw. Yes, that was a very close call.
That's one of the angriest I've ever seen you. And we've told the story before, but it was pretty funny because I was sitting there like a Homer Simpson meme trying to back into the bushes behind me. We're in this hotel room. And, he had it coming. He really did.
Oh, yeah.
And the two of you went at it. I mean, you were...
Verbally.
Yes, sorry. Verbally and one of the most mad I've ever seen you. And so you guys, you said your pieces. You and I, we leave the room kind of in a huff. And then all of a sudden you go, crap, I forgot my beer. And you walked back in, grabbed your beer, and left.
Yep.
That was the best that you went back for it.
We had drug my beer cooler into this guy's room to have it out with him. I figured we'd have, I was a big beer drinker back then. A good argument, I could go through 5-6 beers, right? So I brought my cooler with. And Josh is right. After I got done tearing this guy a new one, stormed out of his hotel room. That was the first thing I said was, for Christ's sake, I forgot my cooler. I had to walk right back in, and he thought I was coming back in to start swinging.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember if it was before or after that. There was one night you called me.
Oh, yeah.
It was late at night, and you're like, hey, you're going to think I'm joking.
Mm-hmm.
I've been drinking a lot. I need you to come pick me up, drive me to his house, and I'm going to kill him. And I started laughing. And so my oldest, Cam, he was sitting next to me, and he's hearing you and all the F-bombs, and he's loving it, right? Because he must have been in middle school. And that's right when, you're starting to kind of swear with your buddies, at least for me and these guys, with your buddies, and, swear words were a big deal. And he's hearing it, and he's loving it, absolutely loving it. But you kept saying, you think I'm kidding. Right. I need you to drive over and pick me up.
I'd go kill him on my own, but I'm too drunk to drive.
That was it, yeah.
I need a ride. So the last time we roomed together for an out-of-town event, you think was the X Games.
I think that's what it was.
I think you're right. Would that be 20 years ago? How old am I now? I bet that would be 20 years ago.
At least.
What a cool scene, although we didn't take much advantage of it.
Not too much. It was cool to be there.
Neither one of us were big fans of skiing and snowboarding.
The snowmobiling stuff was cool.
Snowmobiling.
I would absolutely love that.
There was a massive...
You weren't alive, I don't think.
Huge crowd. The crowd was overwhelming. And that was part of the deterrent for the two of us, to go racing up to the rail and watch skiing and snowboarding. The crowd was overwhelming, but it was beautiful. In the part of Colorado, where were we? Was it Aspen?
I thought it was Aspen. How cool was it, though? That was my first time to Colorado. I've been there, I think, 2 times since. But we're standing on a snow-covered mountain in shorts. I never knew something like that. Growing up here, I never knew you could be comfortable doing something like that.
Drinking, what was the beer they were pushing on us that weekend? Fat or Flat Tire? Which one is it?
Fat Tire.
Fat Tire. Had a good time despite the near fist fight.
Do you remember the revenge you got on him?
No.
We were sitting in that Irish bar.
We were sitting in an Irish bar. I remember that.
Remember who walked by?
Yes, one of the biggest rock stars in the world walked by.
Yeah, Bono from U2.
They call him Bono.
He was wearing sunglasses at night, surrounded by about 30 people.
Yeah. And
you had called the person, and that was his favorite artist, and said, hey, you know what we saw and you didn't? He walked right. We were sitting by the window, remember? And he walked right by us.
Yes.
Because we had heard he was there. And the person was so excited, like, we might run into Bono.
That's
and you called and said, guess who we ran into?
Yeah. I said, guess who we just saw walk by 2 feet away from us. He said, who? I said, Bono. And he said, what? And I said, and we didn't do a damn thing about it. Dinkus would have chased him down the sidewalk like a 12-year-old. I said, we didn't do anything about it. Click, click. Hung up on him.
He wasn't walking down the street going, hey, 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 hey.
It was before that South Park episode.
Oh, dang it.
I bet he hates that episode.
I bet he does.
Yeah. I wonder. You might think it's kind of funny.
Aspen, Colorado is where we were at. Yep. We slept together.
Yeah, we get to do it again tonight.
A lot has changed in the last 20 years. I'm a big snorer now.
Are you really?
Yeah. I get up to piss a lot in the middle of the night. Are we going to meet each other on our way to the bathroom? Do you get up in the middle of the night to whiz a lot?
I don't. Very, very rarely. I'm glad I don't. I've got a couple buddies, who are around my age who say it's almost a nightly thing for them.
What is that, an indication of prostate problems?
It can be. I had asked my doctor about that because I had it happen like once, and I was wondering, okay, I wonder if this is going to be a thing like it is with some friends. And he said, that was my concern too. And he's like, hey, it can be, but it also could be just nothing. I wasn't allowed to drink when I was a kid 2 hours before bedtime because of my bedwetting issues.
You would wet your bed, and then get up in the middle of the night and wet your brother's bed.
And then sometimes I'd have the hat trick where I would wet my cousin's bed too.
3 in a night.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I snore a lot. I get up to take a leak ski. I have really loud and frequent night terrors.
Oh, great.
Soothing.
Is there anything I should know about you?
Well, I told you I usually sleep with the fan, but I got like a fan noise thing, so I warned you about that.
I'm okay with that. I go out of town with a good pal who also likes that fan noise gimmick.
All right, so I was concerned that might bother you.
I hate fans. The noise, fine. If it was a real fan blowing on me or us, I would have a difficult time with that. Okay, I can handle the fake fan noise.
I don't think I snore very often. Outside of that, yeah, I think we should be good.
Right before we both get into bed, do you like to cuddle?
Yeah, I like to. Well, I guess I didn't think of this. I need to be tucked in. I kind of forget. My wife tucks me in every night. Is that something you're willing to do?
We'll work on it. I hope that you're cool with the two of us saying our prayers.
Well, of course.
Right before bedtime.
Wow, wasn't expecting that.
What about, would you read me a Bible verse before? I like to be read.
Don't need to read it. I got it right here, buddy.
Do you really?
I got it right in my noggin.
Oh, that's great.
I got it all memorized. I'll quote whatever you need before bedtime. So that'll be the deal.
We truly are having a slumber party tonight.
I like that for you guys.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it's none of your business why we want to sleep together, but that's what we're going to do.
Tell some ghost stories, maybe.
Oh.
Pillow fight, perhaps. We'll pull out all the stops. Play Have I Ever?
Oh, are we going to play?
Is that what it's called?
Never Have I Ever.
What's it called?
Never have I ever.
Oh, never have I ever.
Have I ever?
It used to just be called I Never.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't remember.
The title's been changed. When I was 18, 19, 20, yeah, we used to sit in a circle and drink. I mean, it wasn't a frequent thing, but usually when girls were with us, they liked to play I Never. And so we'd go along with it. And then somewhere along the line, they changed the title to Never Have I Ever. I don't know why.
What kind of question? I've never played it. If you ask me, have you ever played I Never Have I Ever or whatever, I'd have to say no.
I can tell you, I remember the very first time I played the game, and it was the exact setup that I described, although maybe I exaggerated the size of the crowd. One night, me and a old buddy, I haven't seen him for years, but we used to hang out when we were 18, 19, 20. The two of us met up with these two gals from our high school. We must have been underage. So I want to say 20. Underage meaning for going out in public and drinking, because that's where we certainly would have been if we were 21. So we were sitting at a house. This is up at St. Cloud. And so me and this broski and these two gals from our high school who came up to St. Cloud to party. And we're just the four of us sitting there. And the girls recommended that we play I Never. And I said, I'm game. I really had a crush on one of these gals, too.
I mean, is it all how far have you gotten? Like, have you ever had sex outdoors?
Yeah, it's
every question related
it's
to
the same as Truth or Dare, really. If you play a lot of truth in Truth or Dare, it's those kind of questions. I dare you to pull your D out.
Really? It would go that far?
In Truth or Dare, yeah.
Wow.
And the I Never version would be I've never, exposed myself. It's just silliness. So, but here's where I'm going with this. So we begin to play this game, and one of the girls, it's her turn to do an I never gimmick. And if you don't know what the hell we're talking about, the way the game is played, at least in 1991, was someone states, I never did cocaine. And everyone who has drinks.
Oh, that's right.
That's how it's played.
Yeah, yep.
So the one gal out of the two sitting there with me and my bro says, I've never masturbated. Okay? Both girls drink. I drink. And my buddy sits there and does nothing. And although, as Josh and I have talked about many times, although that was very taboo during those days for people to be open about that, I had a few beers in me. I didn't care. I kind of wanted to pin this one blonde. So I'm going to play along. I mean, not that I was only playing along, but I'm going to be truthful. I took a drink. Nowadays, you younger people are saying, what's the big deal? You admitted you masturbated. It was a big deal back then.
It was a huge deal.
So
I mean, that could be like, it could ruin your life.
Yes.
If somebody, even though everybody else was doing it, it would absolutely destroy you.
I drink, both girls drink, my buddy doesn't move. And so the girls turn to him. I'm not going to bust his balls about that, because how ridiculous would that be? One guy busting another. What, you don't jack off? I stayed silent. The girls just attacked this guy and said, what are you talking about? Of course he was willing to die before he admitted. But now looking back, he was a pretty straight-laced dude. Maybe he was telling the truth. But the girls went after him for the next 20 minutes saying, you really have never met? And he said, no, I never have. He wouldn't budge on the subject.
So I wonder how, because like we said before, I mean, it really was something you would never, ever, ever admit, if you're around our age. You couldn't do it. Now, if a younger person, let's say in their 20s or whatever it is, they say they don't, are they looked at as weird? I mean, so it's completely changed. Mm-hmm. Like, you're the outcast.
Yes.
If you're saying, okay, yeah, I could see that being different.
The dude wouldn't budge. I never said a word. But now that I'm thinking about it, I just got done saying, well, he was a pretty straight-laced dude. Josh, you are the straightest-laced dude that I have ever met, and you were a masturbator like everyone else on planet Earth.
It was to the point where I was concerned.
Yeah, so I don't know why this buddy of mine, maybe because I was there and he thought it, and he thought it was, he was uncomfortable admitting it in front of me, which I totally understand, because again, you got to put yourself in that time period where it just wasn't anything that people openly, especially young people, openly talked about, but he wouldn't budge.
Well, the guilt was overwhelming, though.
The Catholic guilt.
Oh, dude. I mean, it was really, really bad. Like, I thought, I'm for sure going to hell. I told you before, I wanted to talk to my dad about it. Oh, and that was the miserable thing. I was so... And I had questions. I think we were just talking about this yesterday.
I wanted to talk to my dad about it.
I can't. The guilt was overwhelming.
That's bizarre that it was bothering you that much.
I haven't. Some of that hasn't.
Those Catholics just mangled you.
Some of that hasn't left with sex stuff. But
I know that for sure. Yeah, you. You still carry a lot of sexual guilt.
I was so concerned about the frequency that I was wondering. Wait. Can you run out?
Yeah.
Like, what if I want to have kids someday? Mm-hmm. Is it possible that I waste it all between the ages of 14 and 16?
Who wants to come to me and Cubby's room tonight and play I Never?
I'll come by.
Yeah.
Who else? There's got to be somebody else. Please tell me there's somebody else.
I'd love to play.
That's what I remember about that game, Josh. That's what I remember is my one bro making a stand on whether or not he had jagged it by the time he was 20 years old.
Would it be stupid to play this at the bar tonight or tomorrow?
Well, yeah, because it would be so G-rated that it would be
not
boring.
On air. Off air. I mean, on air, I bet people listening it would be boring.
Well, no, even off air. I mean, what do we...
We could probably come up with some pretty dirty stuff.
Oh, I suppose.
Yeah, you learn some things about people when you play this game, and you play for real.
I mean, the only thing is there'll be some, like, locals and stuff that'll be in there that might be going, what the hell's going on with these people? All right, maybe it's a bad idea.
I mean, I don't know. I'm 53 years old now. I don't know if I want to be overheard playing I Never at a bar at this point.
Yeah, and people wouldn't get why these adults are playing. They, aren't going to understand the conversation from this morning.
You never played the game, Cubby?
No. Never. But I wasn't a drinker,
No.
So some of that stuff I didn't do.
I played like way before I started drinking with the game. We would just put like our hands up.
Yeah, you one finger down each time.
Yeah. And then once you got to
see-
0, like,
see-
you win or lose? I don't really know.
So, see, for us, Truth or Dare was the game we played as kids, and then
Yep.
once we started drinking, that was when you graduated to I never,
Ditto.
because it was a drinking game. But anyway, there you go.
All right, here's a text. Thank you. Again, the solidarity of the brother and sisterhood is what makes it all worthwhile. This person says, I asked that exact same question in sex ed class. Can you run out of swimmers? Mucho crankage.
Crankage. There you go. What else? Thanks. Back to our live broadcast. Well, this weekend is more. There's much more to this weekend than just our stupid live broadcast tomorrow from the casino. Tomorrow, tonight, we want to thank St. Croix Casino Turtle Lake for every damn thing. We want to thank Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies.
They're coming up. I love
yeah?
the Devani's guys.
Just in case we get sideways tomorrow morning and forget to thank these people enough, I wanted to throw it in now. So the pizza and hoagie people are coming to the party.
Yeah, I got
You know these people?
I just via email, they've emailed before. They know how much we love them, and they've said some nice things. So, yeah, they're saying they're gonna send a crew up there,
Dude.
And I can't wait.
You want to meet them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're awesome. They sent T-shirts. I gotta wear my T-shirt.
They didn't send me a T-shirt.
Yeah, they did.
What?
Stop it. You got a T-shirt.
I did?
Yeah. Maybe somebody grabbed it.
I think somebody swiped it. Well, there you go. What else is going on? Seeing how we've got all these shenanigans going on starting tonight and through tomorrow, Andrew DePaola, long snapper for the Minnesota Vikings, has agreed to make another exception for us and join us this morning. They got a game coming up in a couple of days. Oh, I don't know who the hell they're playing. I'll ask them.
They play the Lions at home.
That'll be a good game.
That will be a fun one.
Well, I don't know. I disagree. But we'll ask him anyway.
Do you think it'll be a fun one, Andrew?
Yeah. He probably is going to say no, too. He's probably getting bored with long snapping.
He hates football.
Yeah. Andrew DePaola is going to join us. So there you go. We're rolling this afternoon, getting in our motor vehicles and going that away. Trying to navigate the 275 roundabouts between here and Turtle Lake.
Dodge a couple of deer.
Yep.
Boy, last year I almost just launched myself into instant death. Or no, 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Because I wasn't expecting the roundabouts.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. What is that in the distance? It kind of looks like a stop sign. I need glasses. And I'm kind of, well, what? It's a roundabout!
Have you ever watched those videos?
No,
on
but
YouTube?
I can't believe that I haven't become one of those people.
They just sky the car.
Yeah.
Some of those
love
videos, it's
those.
insane on some of them. Some of them are a little disappointing. You know, kind of like at the end of sex where there might be just a blooper that doesn't make it past home plate. Kind of like that where you think there's this big buildup, you think the car's going to launch, and nothing. But yeah, there's a couple of them you're like, was this in the Dukes of Hazzard? This is set up.
I got to
There's no
see
way.
that. I haven't watched those videos. But yeah, it was 2 years ago. Because 2 years ago.
The first year?
Yes. I still was not accustomed to the roundabout. I still just, I hadn't seen many of them. And I wasn't sure of the rules. So yeah, there's quite a few of them between here and Turtle Lake. And I about made one of those Google videos, or what do you call it, YouTube videos. Now I'm more used to it, but.
Oh, speaking of videos, there's a video posted on 93x.com of a bunch of cats doing some WWE-style moves. Oh, it's awesome.
So cute.
I was telling Nick off air, so I lived with a girl who had cats, and it wasn't super long that we lived together. I had no idea they were that acrobatic and so talented with some really cool wrestling moves.
They're terribly agile.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
That video was way better than I thought it was going to be.
Great vertical.
Yeah.
Cats.
And just like headlocks and body slams.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
It's almost
So cool.
perfectly executed RKOs. Watching cats wrestle and whatnot, that's a lot of fun. I'm glad you put that up on the website. They could be a lot of fun to watch. So, am I forgetting anything about
I don't think we've said this at all, but if you're joining us, first and foremost, thank you. 6 o'clock tonight is when happy hour starts, there in the sports book.
Get some specifics out there, Josh. I didn't give any specifics.
And then the broadcast, I think you can start showing up at 5 a.m. We don't go on to 5:40. There's no reason to show up at 5 a.m. And then, of course, Jesse James Dupree, he's playing tomorrow night.
Right on.
And who's bringing the UV blue?
You know what? Let's see. Hold on 1 second. We got a text on
What is this bit again?
Oh, is that tonight?
This is the second time you brought that up. I can't remember why we're talking about UV blue.
A couple months ago, when we were first announced this whole Turtle Lake weekend, we talked about that we were all going to get liquored up on UV blue.
UV blue.
Yeah, I'm getting drunk on the air.
That would be awesome, Josh.
All right, well, someone bring it, and I'm sure I'll completely ignore it.
Dog grooming, anal gland expressing Shiza said she's going to bring some. So at least buy you a shot. I brought this up
I won't be
yesterday.
drinking a shot.
I figured you wouldn't.
Yeah.
I thought maybe Ashley would sneak it. But she's going to wear a shirt that she said to apologize ahead of time to you because you're going to hate it.
Tonight, tomorrow?
Tomorrow at the broadcast.
A shirt that I will hate.
Yeah.
I could guess, but we might be here all day because there's a lot of things that I hate.
It could be anything in my wardrobe. It seems like everything I wear annoys Nick.
Yeah, you dress like a moron.
It's coming from the guy that wears cut-off T-shirts and sandals in public.
Can I ask you guys something?
You got a problem with a relaxed look? You dress like a 10-year-old, dude. You dress like a 10-year-old.
Hey, I actually, I'm going through something. The other day I was telling my wife.
Guy wears a headband.
Not anymore. I think I'm going to start dressing a little better.
You are?
Yeah.
Why
almost
would you?
50. I thought maybe not like formal, but maybe
Like polo tees?
yeah, something like that. Maybe.
Oh, good
Get
for
some
you.
get some golf shirts or something.
I'm growing up right in front of your eyes.
Look at
like
that.
that.
I guess
Get
I'll,
some nice khaki slacks.
I don't know
believe-
about khakis.
I'll believe it when I see it.
What do you think? What are your thoughts so far?
Well, I don't know why you would. Why would you make this decision?
I just thought I'm almost 50. Maybe I shouldn't be wearing a hoodie and basketball shorts every day.
Well, the basketball shorts thing is dumb.
I don't wear it in the winter.
Yeah. You need to. I'll agree. From the waist down, there's a lot of work to do for you.
Boy, tell me about it.
Well, there's not a lot of work to do. All you gotta do is get a pair of jeans, dude.
Yeah, I've got one pair. I
Yeah.
told my wife, I was telling her, I got to get a couple more pairs.
Yeah, the basketball shorts look that has to go. But with your hoodies, what's wrong with hoodies? You got a gorgeous looking hoodie on right now.
I love this
Yeah,
one.
there's nothing wrong with hoodies.
All right, so you don't think that I'm getting a little too old for my wardrobe?
The shorts, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're so comfy,
Yeah, I know.
so easy to put on, so easy to take
I get
off.
it.
You just pull them on, pull them off.
Yeah, super easy.
All right, we got to get going. We appreciate you listening. Andrew DePaola is going to check in later. So is Randy Shaver. Stupid news coming up in a couple minutes here on the program.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this winter. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating and Air Conditioning helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst time.
Hey, Ashley here. Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Have a boiler? Save $40 on your boiler tune-up. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings. Stay cozy, stay ready.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Stupid news on the Half-assed morning show.
I hear you. We were going back and forth earlier about everything that's going on. Starting this afternoon, evening, through tomorrow, our Brotherhood Bash out there at St. Croix Casino in Turtle Lake, Wisconsin. Did we cover this, Josh? Because folks keep texting in saying, can I just show up for the live broadcast? Why do you want to do that? I have no idea. Can I just show up for the live broadcast? Can I just do this? Can I just do that? I didn't get a hotel room. I didn't get a... Go to our website, and there's something in the mix there about a land package.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that can get you into all the events. Like there's a happy hour tonight from 6 to 9. Tomorrow, I think it's 7. There's a dinner. Obviously, in the morning, there's the broadcast and a breakfast.
Right.
Then the concert with Jesse James Dupree. So that land package can get you into all that, and then you don't have to worry about a hotel room.
But you got to drive your ass out of there. You're not our problem.
Yeah, have a safe and sober
Get a
ride.
safe ride out of there. Okay, the land package. Look that up for all of you who are texting in about this and that.
Yeah,
we
they'll let
appreciate
you-
your interest.
Yeah. We want everybody that wants to be there, and they're going to make you buy that package, though.
We're heading out this afternoon. We appreciate your interest. Folks who have already got themselves a hotel room and everything, by damn, we thank you up and down for that. All right, let's head in this direction now, the stupid news. We're going to start things off, Josh, with the second story, I think, in the last month or so, where folks are looking to sell off they babies.
Correct.
Last time around.
This is more common than you'd like it to be.
Oh.
More common. Last time around, if my memory serves me correct, there were some hillbillies out in Virginia or some godforsaken place like that. Here in the States, some hillbillies, and they were looking to, I think they were at a trailer park beer party, and they were looking to trade away a brand new little baby. And I believe they said having a couple of dogs and a baby was just too damn much work for mom and dad.
And they chose to get rid of the baby.
Yeah.
Right. I think it went for about $1,000. I can't remember, but that was the last situation we jaw-jacked about here on the Programski. Here's a shady sumbitch, this time from Indonesia, who upped and sold his baby on Facebook
No way.
for around $900.
Oh my gosh, on like Facebook Marketplace? What?
It's a decent price.
You can find anything there.
That's true.
Some things you don't want to find, including babies, apparently.
You know, well, see, I hear what you're saying, Dana. You might expect a baby to go for more.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, that's when they're the most valuable. Once I got a middle schooler at home, at that point, nobody wants them. Right? So it's a depreciating asset for sure.
Trade for a bag of Doritos or a Jersey Mike's gift card.
Or just give it away. If you're going to sell a baby, do it early. Right? I mean, anything, they're pretty cute up until about middle school.
Yeah.
So this guy from Indonesia, he didn't have the same issues as those hillbillies did. It wasn't that he had too many dogs in the house or anything like that. The reason he wanted to sell his baby on Facebook for $900, he was looking to make up for some money he lost gambling. He lost a few bucks at the track or at the slot machine or at the card table. I'm not sure. The dad who sold off his own kid, he's a 36-year-old. The story calls the guy simply R.A., like former Twins pitcher R.A. Dickey. Dad's been arrested for this. You see, what happened was the baby's mother came home and saw that her little child was nowheres to be found. R.A. eventually told her, look, I had a bad week playing cards. I sold our baby so I could get a few of those bucks back. It's no big thing. We can make a different baby one of these days if you want to.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting logic.
Yeah.
Don't know how I'd react to hearing
I mean, there's
something
some
like that.
logic, but it's a little flawed.
Well, the story here says, Ashley, what did you just say? You don't know how you would...
React to something like that.
This mother, it says here, wasn't too excited to hear that story.
Oh.
She was pretty hot about it. Apparently, R.A. saw something on Facebook where a couple was looking to purchase a new or lightly used toddler. So he went for it. He saw a couple on Facebook who said, if he's got a baby, we'd give you some money for it.
What?
After the transaction, after mom wet her pants, the local cops tracked the baby down. Obviously, the two brand new parents were kind of bummed. They had already bought some baby stuff and gave it a name and all that. And then they were even more upset when they got themselves arrested for, how do you call it, human trafficking. Oh, you're taking our baby? We just gave it a name. We got it a stroller. Well, human trafficking. Oh.
It's a complicated situation, but I have some friends. Well, more specifically, my wife has some friends who they were looking to adopt. They found a woman who's pregnant who had gone through an agency and said, I'm going to give up the kid. They paid for everything, all the medical, all that kind of stuff. The woman was, she couldn't afford the kid. And that was part of why she was going to give him up for adoption. They went through all of it, spent a lot of money. Just like you said about this particular couple, got their whole house ready, came up with a name, they had their whole lives planned out, right? And at the last second, she changed her mind, and they were just out their money.
That's awful.
That sucks.
Everybody involved here is looking at 15 Indonesian years in prison. And according to this here report, the cops over there, Indonesia, have been running into a lot of problems with folks buying and selling kids. And from what I saw online, there are some pretty good deals out there. I saw an older couple, Josh, looking to sell their son. He's in his 30s. The older couple said they don't really use them much anymore. They're looking for a smaller, newer model.
They got some BOGOs going on.
Yeah, if they have twins, buy one, get one.
Steelers fan Jesus brings up a point that I totally agree with, and you say it a lot more eloquently than I was trying to figure out how to say it. There's people that try their whole adult lives to have kids and can't, and then there's asshats like this. Totally agree. As someone who went through, my wife went through in vitro, but that whole, you're on the emotional side, I totally agree with you. There's people that look at somebody sideways and get them pregnant, and there's no way they should be pregnant, or they should be parents.
I have a couple of friends, they wanted to get pregnant very badly, and they tried everything they could, kind of similar to your situation. They kind of came to the realization it wasn't going to be able to happen to them, so they adopted. They went through the adoption process. It was like a 2-year process. They get the kid, and, their life's there. All right, we have our baby. Then about 2 weeks after the baby got home, or the kid they adopted that got home, she got pregnant. And then they ended up with 2.
You hear stories like that, right?
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Uh-huh.
You guys know families with, half siblings and whatnot, right?
My wife is in that. I think you know this. My wife found out when she was maybe in high school, a little before, but she found out that her dad had a second family, and she found out technically she was the second family. So she has.
Well, that's even more dramatic than having a half brother, half sister.
Yeah. So she does have a half sister, but she didn't know about her and doesn't. They've communicated over the years. But
when did they learn about each other?
Well, so she's old. I guess I'm not sure how much older she is than my wife. But my wife was maybe either right before high school or in high school. Maybe if she's listening, maybe she could text me.
That's an awesome story.
Not for her.
That's not fun finding.
Where I was going with this is I grew up with a kid who had a younger sister and an older sister. His older sister was, I'd say 6, maybe 7 years older than us. Which at the time, when you're 12 years old and there's a sibling who's 20 or 21, that they seem ancient to you, right? At the time, his older sister did seem, so much older than the rest of us. You get a little older and, that's not that big of a gap between siblings, really. But anyway, he when we were about 12 years old, he says to me one day, he says, did you know? Well, and I don't think he was asking because he thought I literally knew. It was just the way he brought it up. He said, did you know that my older sister was only my half-sister? She's got a different dad. And I said, no, I didn't know that. And then I started thinking, well, shouldn't you have known that? You're 12 years old already, right? But he didn't. And I said, well, so, how did you find this out? Oh, my parents just told me. And I went and asked my mom. I said, shouldn't his parents have told him a long time? And she said, yeah, I think they should have told him that a long time ago. But for whatever reason, but here's the line that I'll always remember. So he tells me his older sister is only his half-sister. She's got a different dad. And the line he dumped on me was, I always wondered who this older guy was that kept stopping by to see her now and again.
Oh, what in the world?
Well, it was her friggin' dad.
Oh, my gosh.
I always wondered who this older guy was that would stop over.
I have a lot of stepbrothers. 4 out of 5 of my brothers are my stepbrothers.
Oh,
then,
I can't believe I never knew that.
Yep, and then I have a sister too, and she's my half sister as well.
On what side stepbrothers?
Both sides.
There you go.
Yep.
Here's a video you got to see to believe and to fully understand, I think. Story from India. We've come all the way over to India for this one here. They do things pretty differently over there. I'll try to explain it the best I can, but you really have to see the video. In the video, a water tank falls from the sky. A big, fat-ass water tank of some sort, and it lands smooth on top of a lady who was just walking down the street. Now, apparently, this is the luckiest gal in all of India. The tank fell on her in a way that kept her from getting hurt at all. Instead of crushing her, the giant container opening landed perfectly over her. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So she perfectly fit into the opening of the bottle as it fell on top of her.
This video's on 93x.com.
You got to see it. Empty, massive water tank falls, and it just kind of swallows her up because the opening landed perfectly on top of her. The timing was perfect.
That's crazy good luck. Well, I don't know, bad luck, but then good luck.
Yeah, a little of both. If the gal's pace while she was walking had been a second quicker or a second slower, she would have likely been mangled beyond repair. But instead, the bottle just kind of, swallowed her up.
Yeah, it went from tragedy to hilarity pretty quick there. Can you imagine? I think the first thing I think was, you have got to be kidding me.
Oh,
yeah.
Once it took me a second to recalibrate what the heck was going on.
And in the video, you will see, like Josh said, it goes from, oh, God, help us, to hilarity. After the big fat-ass container ate her up, her head pops out the opening like Tom from the Tom and Jerry cartoon. And the lady is wondering what the F just hit her. Now, why massive water containers are falling from the sky in India, I have no idea. I don't know how they operate over there. The big damn thing was on top of a building or something. And the word is the gal had just come from church. So her neighbors are saying that God played a role in this and that and all that noise.
There's some sort of intervention there. Anybody watch the most recent Family Guy? It just came out.
No.
It's a Halloween
Yes.
special. You did?
Yep.
Kind of like when Peter's head popped outside that big pumpkin. That's what I was picturing when this lady's head popped out.
I haven't seen Family Guy in a while, but I'm sitting here racking my brain trying to come up with anything comparable to how lucky this gal got, the perfect timing scenario that she experienced. It's a 1 in a million type of a deal. Can't come up with anything. More videos and pictures you got to get a look at. And this here is a hell of a scam. Hell of a scam. A Chinese aquarium has pissed everybody off over there. They had a very popular giant shark swimming around in a tank over there at the zoo. Or the aquarium, I should call it. Not the zoo, but the aquarium. Big. All the people loved it. They would come running to see this beautiful, big, fat shark swim round and round the aquarium. But then the bastards got busted. That was not a shark. It was a damned robot.
I'd love a
silly.
shark robot.
It was not real. It was a robot, just like what we all recently found out about Jennifer Aniston.
Oh.
You guys didn't read that?
No, that's news to me.
Look
Wow.
that up. Yeah, look that up. So the story calls this fake shark gimmick. They call it a, quote, deep fake, which sounds like something the 8th graders and social media dorks would come up with. An epic deep fake. A toxic deep fake. So toxic. But that's the term they used. The aquarium with the phony shark. They just reopened a few days ago after doing some renovations and whatnot. And I guess one of the renovations was to build a Robo shark.
I mean, they could advertise that and people would still go.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
I mean, then nobody's going to be pissed off at them. If they said, hey, we got a Robo shark, you better believe I'm going to go check that out.
You're exactly right. That's the silliness of this entire gimmick.
There's no reason to trick people.
But they did. And since folks were dumping their hard-earned bucks at the gate to see the mega shark, and it was a friggin' work, they want their money back. The aquarium claimed it was something called a whale shark, the world's largest fish. But it wasn't. And the word is, it wasn't too difficult, at least for grown folks, to notice that the fish was an imposter.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't look real.
Yeah, if you look more than a couple seconds, you'll realize something's up with this thing.
Uh-huh.
So it's hard to understand why the aquarium didn't just, like Josh said, up and advertise that we have a robot shark. Be honest about it. Dorks coming out of the woodwork for that. A Robo shark? Everyone wants a refund now. The boss over there at the aquarium, he's sweating it out. So, and on top of the Robo shark scam, there are folks saying that the real fish they had up in there looked sick or dying.
Oh, no. Falling apart.
Music has been taken out of this portion of the Half-Assed Morning Show podcast for licensing reasons.
By the way, I'm not going to play it. There's text coming in. They want me to play the shark-related. I'm not going to do it. I get so much hate anytime I do that.
You can't.
Shark what?
And people are wondering how old this particular shark is. Is it an adult? Is it a juvenile? Or is it even younger?
Oh, boy.
Not going to do it.
All right.
I kind of want to do it, but I'm not going to do it.
And this scam has reminded everybody of the jack-offs at a different zoo there in China a while back. You remember these folks. They went ahead and spray-painted dogs to try and fool people into thinking they were effing panda bears.
No, that was awesome.
I mean, what do they think? Everybody's a 3-year-old over there and they can't figure this stuff out on their own?
I didn't realize those were the same people. Yeah.
No, they weren't the same people. Different zoo.
Yeah, those. All of these videos are up on 93x.com. Even the panda dogs.
You know
those are pretty cute. Those panda dogs.
Are. I want one.
You know that sad look your dog gives you? Well, most dogs. The sad look that most dogs give when you put an outfit on them.
Yeah.
Can you imagine those friggin' dogs at that zoo when they were pinned down and spray painted to look like panda bears?
Yeah, I bet that wasn't cool for them.
Josh, a lot more people are saying you should just play it.
I'm not going to play it.
Well, I don't remember. I mean, I remember the gimmick Baby Shark. I don't remember the song. So if you're holding off to save my blood pressure, don't worry about that. I can't remember much about it. It says Baby Shark. Everyone loves the Baby Shark, right? Am I close?
Yeah, you're close.
All right.
Yay.
There's enough people. Some people are suggesting they will donate in my name to charities if we play the Baby Shark song.
Oh, you have to.
Give her hell.
All right, you asked for it. You know, I love picturing like the toughest iron worker we have listening in the audience here, who later on today is just going to start humming that out of nowhere.
Starts doing the motions.
Just the toughest guy at your work.
I recognized it when you started playing it. You know, the one that made me nuts.
Oh, hold on. Let me load it. Let me see if I can guess.
It's also also animal related. Is that
that one?
Don't say it yet.
No, I won't say it. But there's an.
I think I know.
Yeah. It's also animal related. Are you on the right track?
Yep, here we go. I think I got it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, say what it is.
It was something about foxes?
Yeah.
What's not to like?
I love this song.
I mean, I don't get its purpose.
There is none. That's why it's great.
Those dudes probably made so much money off that song, too.
Yeah.
And I have a buddy whose last name was Fox, and boy, did he hate when this song came out.
The Baby Shark, at least I can understand its purpose. Little kids, you can keep a little kid occupied with that for a while. But the Foxy...
What the fox say?
What did the fox say? I don't understand its purpose. Here goes Josh again now. Trying to get me to lose my effing cool and come undone on the air. You do this on purpose. You did it yesterday. You're doing it again today. In a place called Nottinghamshire, England. Thanks, pal.
Well, I kind of like all those names simply from watching shows like Vikings or The Last... Wapo, what is that show?
The Last Kingdom?
The Last Kingdom, yeah.
A dude is dressing like the dude from the Deadpool movie. And then he runs around town trying to bust speeding drivers. It says here, his cat was recently airmailed and killed dead by a speeding driver in his neighborhood. So he's doing what any other reasonable 59-year-old man would do.
Jeez.
He pulls a superhero costume over his head to go out in public to fight crime.
He's Deadpool.
Yes, dressed like the guy from the Deadpool movie.
Wow.
Mark Spavin is this silly bastard's name. He says, everyone in town drives too fast. And his cat got killed. And his cat went by the name of Groot, so I think we have a pretty good idea what makes this guy tick.
Mm-hmm.
He's the neighborhood comic book dork.
Yep.
I am Groot.
He doesn't think the cops have been doing enough to straighten out speeders. So again, why not squeeze your near 60-year-old carcass into a rubber suit and embarrass the hell out of yourself? Josh, something tells me this has very little to do with his cat.
Oh, I totally agree.
He's been waiting his whole life for a reason to play Super Friends. He's just trying to keep his erection from being visible while he sprints up and down yelling at cars. This is his dream come true.
He's had that suit hanging in his closet for a long time, just waiting for an opportunity like this.
Yep. What? He says to his wife, the cat got killed out on the road? Deadpool to the rescue.
It's time.
And his wife is saying, oh, for Christ's sake, here we go.
Can you imagine if somebody releases a doorbell cam video of him tossing his cat in front of a work truck?
Oh, no.
Dude.
Coming up with the excuse. I saw a poor kitty that was all smushed yesterday.
Oh, that sucks. That's a day ruiner.
Yeah, that sucked. But I never once considered putting on a superhero costume, standing out there busting speeders.
Well, now you have the idea. There you go.
Man, and real quick before we go, Josh, please tell me you're not considering this.
Well, I don't have the vehicle.
Oh, it's okay. Honda motor vehicles. You used to have one of those.
That's the first car I ever purchased. The first time we got a contract around here.
You had a cool car.
Honda Civic.
That was a cool.
We almost got killed in that.
There might be some people out there saying, "What are you talking about? A cool Honda Civic?" There's some of you hard-ons out there. I don't want to hear it. Josh had one cool Honda Civic.
Do you remember we almost got killed in that?
We were going 108 miles. Edge? No, I don't remember.
We were at Edge Fest and we were playing I Want It That Way, and we were blasting it, Backstreet Boys.
Driving into the venue kind of
We were
thing?
driving out of the venue.
Yeah.
And people wanted to murder us because we were blasting it.
I don't remember that.
Oh, that was fun.
I do remember that we brought the two hottest women at the whole concert that year.
That was a lucky day.
We brought the two hottest women at the whole friggin' joint. They were with me and Cubby.
And there was no reason I should have dated that girl. I don't know how that happened.
I think I know why.
Was it the Civic?
No, because she wanted to get closer to me.
Oh, I bet that's it.
Didn't she end up being totally insane?
Yes, she did.
She ended up being totally insane.
Yeah, there was some stuff going on there, yeah.
All right, where I'm going with this is Honda has made Halloween costumes you can pull over the top of your car. And they call them, you say it, I can't say it.
Well, I want you to say it.
Come on. It's cute.
You want me to say it?
Yeah, it's more fun if you say it.
What Honda calls these costumes that you can pull over the top of your motor vehicle, they want to call them, they want us to say this, they want us to say carstumes.
These are pretty cool, actually.
No, they're not.
I want one of these.
Oh, they are kind of cool. Well, you've decorated up maybe you haven't, but people you've dated have decorated your vehicle for various holidays, so.
Oh.
You had the antlers and the nose.
Oh, really?
One of my exes put antlers out the windows of my car. You following, like the driver's side and the passenger, and then they put a red nose on the front of my pickup.
How long did that stay there for?
1 day. Check these out. Go to their website. Whatever you got to do. If you drive a Honda, you can buy these carstumes. What can you do here? They have different outfits. Something called hollow wheels. I don't know what that is. But you can pull something over the top of your Honda that looks like a pumpkin. Parkula is their version of Dracula. Zombie instead of zombie. Stop it. Stop it. It's not funny.
It's kind of funny.
It's not funny at all, and it's wrong.
It's wrong?
Because Halloween is
right,
it's
then.
evil.
Well,
Halloween
they
is
do
evil.
look evil.
Halloween celebrates evil things.
They have an evil look.
You had one cool Civic, though.
Yeah, I like that thing. I sold it for $600 less than I paid for it, and I had it for 3 years. Not bad.
Not bad at all. Are you kidding me?
You've done well in life. You have.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
But I'm not just anybody.
Uh-oh.
And your days of being number one here are over.
Tell him, Kurt.
Because Kurt Angle is back on Raw, baby. Woo!
He just did a woo. He did.
Nobody says woo around here except me. Woo! 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 Enough! 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 That's enough! Hey, that's gimmick infringement and you know it.
I'd be okay with us using the woo-off as a sports intro somewhere around 6-7 times a week.
I don't mind that. I love that woo-off.
No. Can I tell my Kurt Angle story again, since we started with Kurt and the Nate in their legendary woo-off? Oh, this is many, many years ago. Kurt Angle had just hit it big in the WWE, and the show came to town, and Kurt was making an appearance at the Mall of America. Boy, when did they close that joint? How long has it been since they closed the Mall of America?
It's actually still open and better than ever.
So me and Big Al got invited to meet Kurt Angle in a private little party room before he went and saw the unwashed masses out at the mall and signed all these autographs. And when Angle walked in, he looked like he had been hit by a truck. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. You could tell he was not interested in getting involved in this little private meet and greet with local dorks. And he wasn't interested in the entire event. And I don't blame him. He just looked bad. You guys have all heard the stories of the road life that these folks live when they work for television wrestling companies. They work these sumbitches down to the bone. So when Angle walked in...
52 days a year.
52 days a year.
Weeks.
When Angle walked in, he looked terrible and looked uninterested. And the first person to speak up was a kid sitting near me. And the first thing that Kurt Angle hears is this young kid say, real excitedly, "Hey, Kurt, I'm JoJo the Balloon Boy." And that really was this individual's gimmick for a while. He was JoJo the Balloon Boy, and he would go to events all over the place and tie, what do you call it, Josh? Animal balloons?
Yeah, he would make all kinds. He had like a patented balloon. He won world championships.
Balloon animals is how it's said.
Or not just animals, but anything, really.
That's what he did. And we got to know JoJo here at the radio station. So the first thing an exhausted and grumpy Kurt Angle hears out loud is a kid say, "Hi, Kurt, I'm JoJo the Balloon Boy." And this was Angle's response in front of all these people. He goes, "JoJo the Balloon Boy, huh?" As if to say, of all the people I had to hear from first at this event is someone who calls themselves JoJo the Balloon Boy. That was friggin' hilarious.
And his day probably didn't get any better because I was third in line to meet him that day. I got there at like 7 in the morning.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, man. All right, real quick, another blowout in the National League Championship Series. The Dodgers thumped the piss out of the damn New York Mets. 8-0. They'll play Game 4 tonight, Game 3 in the ALCS. Also, the NLCS is this afternoon. The ALCS is tonight. The Lynx got beat in Game 3 of the WNBA finals. We'll have Randy Shaver and Vikings long snapper guy Andrew DePaola join us in a half hour. Stay tuned for Josh's news report.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this winter. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating and Air Conditioning helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst time.
Hey, Ashley here. Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Have a boiler? Save $40 on your boiler tune-up. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings. Stay cozy, stay ready.
Bingo. All right, Bill, we're recording now. And please put your phone on silent.
Oh, where is my phone?
Let's go, man. Okay. Get it together over there, player. Go ahead. Pick on me the way that you want to.
I wouldn't say that to my son.
Just go.
All right, why would people want to listen to the Sims Complete podcast?
A father-son dynamic duo talking about the game of football.
We do a lot of quarterback and coach talks. It's fun. I love doing this. It's been awesome.
Sims Complete. Check us out on the Believe Network. Appreciate it.
Just search Believe, BLEAV, wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
This car at high rates of speed into an entirely different precinct because there had been a robbery at the prostitution business he managed.
A crew was busted for running brothels and managing sex workers in Long Island in what authorities in New York called a shocking betrayal of public trust. After a years-long investigation, 4 people were indicted on charges, and shockingly, one of them is a 55-year-old veteran cop, another a respected 53-year-old teacher. A 60-year-old alleged ringleader is accused of running multiple brothels, including one the cop and teacher worked at as managers, collecting fees and advertising services for the brothel known as American Girls Spa. As you heard in the opening clip, the cop reportedly even sped to a brothel at 90 miles an hour in his marked cruiser to cover up a robbery complaint, all while on duty. The criminal investigation found a customer was robbed at American Girls Spa in March of 2021. The officer received a call from a sex worker to warn him that the customer called 911 and police were on the way. The officer abandoned his assigned post in the 3rd precinct and raced to the brothel in his marked squad. He then falsified police paperwork, and it didn't mention that his unauthorized visit to American Girls Spa occurred. The ringleader could get up to 25 years behind bars. The others face hefty charges and potential sentences between 8 and 25 years.
American Girls Spa, that's kind of an obvious title, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of seems that way. It does seem that way. Like I would assume immediately that's what you're going to get.
Yes, 100%.
Anyone in town over 14 years old knew what the hell was going on in there. But the story is that this cop was foregoing his cop duties and worrying more about the hookers at American Girls Spa.
Yeah, and he's the manager, or one of the managers there.
That's pretty scandalous stuff. I like that one. You're off to a good start here, Josh.
Oh, I'll ruin it soon.
No.
A 35-year-old man was arrested for pretending to be a cop just so he could run a red light. A detective was on his way to work in an unmarked car Tuesday and noticed a black Dodge Charger behind him. The Charger had aftermarket wheels, a push bumper, and lights attached to it, basically trying to look official. When they stopped at a red light, the Charger suddenly flipped on its red and blue lights and blew right through it. The detective called for backup, and patrol deputies pulled the Charger over. The driver first denied having any lights on his car, but when the detective said he'd seen it, he admitted to turning on the lights and running the red. Police believe he used the same ruse before to run those reds. And a driver in Northern California tried to treat himself to a faster commute with an age-old trick this Halloween season.
Oh, let me take a friggin' guess. He had a mummy in his passenger seat.
Close, a skeleton as a passenger.
Son of a bitch.
So we could use that carpool lane.
Cute.
The skeleton decoration wasn't even dressed to look like a person. Just looked like a skeleton, but it did have a ghost face killer mask on its head.
Oh, lazy.
Can we go back to the individual who pretended to be a cop so he could run a red light? That's like getting a fake ID so you can go buy a bottle of wine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
if you're
weird.
gonna go all out.
Or
You're
to
gonna
like,
get-
go get scratch-off tickets.
You'd be in so much less trouble running the red light than doing something like this, impersonating a police officer.
Hey, boys, I got myself a fake ID. Guess who's going off to buy a 6-pack of Zimas tonight? You know what I mean? What the hell's the matter? You're pretending to be a cop. All you did was go for it, man.
What a waste.
Live a little. Go for it next time.
The other day I saw, back to the passenger seat stuff, I saw a stormtrooper in someone's passenger seat.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I wonder if that's what they were doing.
That's what I was kind of thinking, too. Because it was taped up and, like, strapped into the seat, too.
What a dork.
In what way? I actually would love to ride with a stormtrooper. I'd have a lot of questions. Pizzeria employees in Texas weren't about to let a robbery ruin their day when a 19-year-old suspect tried to pull off a heist last week. If you take a look at 93x.com and see his mugshot, you'll see who lost in that particular heist. The young man strolled into Marco's Pizza in Austin about 7 p.m., thinking he'd walk out with a pocket full of cash. He slipped a note to employees that read, "Don't say S, empty the drawer, and then flashed a gun and that was tucked into his waistband. Big mistake. Instead of panicking, the employees decided to flip the script, grabbing the suspect and putting him in a chokehold while a coworker called 911. While two of them tussled, the store manager saw an opportunity and went straight for the suspect's gun, lifting it right out of his waistband. The manager even tried firing it, but the gun jammed, leading to a more hands-on approach. The pizza manager used the handle to give the suspect a heaping helping of slapperoni. Then, like out of a movie, the manager grabbed the knife and asked the suspect the ultimate question: prison or death? That was enough to stop the fight, and the suspect, clearly out of options, decided to wait for cops to arrive. And they kicked his ass.
This guy's obviously never met anyone named Marco.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Would you rob a Marco?
No, I'm going to Great Grandma's Pizzeria. That's where I'm going if I'm going to rob him.
A 33-year-old woman ruined the fun at a festival when she strangled a 12-year-old girl who cut in line just before 8 p.m. Friday at the West Side Nut Club Fall Festival in Evansville, Indiana.
Dude, the Nut Club.
Yeah. Officer, if there was a spot called that, you also know what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Officers working security saw an argument break out between the woman and someone else. She was upset because she thought someone had cut in line for a ride. In the middle of the argument, a 12-year-old girl tried to keep the peace. She offered to give up her spot in line to the woman. Thinking the woman didn't hear her, the girl walked over in a friendly way and made the offer clearer, and that's when things got ugly. "I saw her grab the girl by the throat and shove her against the gate," one of the detectives said. 3 officers rushed to pull the woman off the girl. Once they got everyone under control, detectives spoke to the young girl, who said when the woman grabbed her by the throat, she couldn't breathe, and her nose even went numb. 4 witnesses backed up her story. Usually a much happier occasion, the West Side Nut Club Fall Festival has been a big deal there for over 100 years, starting in 1921, when local business owners came together to host an event for the, quote, betterment of the West Side and all of Evansville.
I'm bringing a roll of paper towels if I go to the Nut Club.
Gross.
So a gal got choked out for being a line cutter.
No, this 12-year-old girl was offering her spot to the woman who was pissed about someone else cutting in line.
Oh,
What
jeez.
a poor-
Took it out on her.
Yeah,
Don't
she's trying to do a
choke out
nice thing.
child.
Everyone takes things out on the wrong people nowadays. Yeah.
That's true.
This 12-year-old was just trying to be nice. A man's behind bars after brandishing a flamethrower at police. Officers responded to a report of an explosion Monday night. When they arrived, 39-year-old Joseph Morton was yelling at officers from his backyard, armed with a handheld flamethrower.
We're so out of control. Can you even... A cop's got to go to work. And then when he comes home and how was it? It was all right. And guy with a flamethrower. You know what I mean? This should not be happening.
Police ordered him to drop the badass flamethrower, but he refused, instead making the unwise decision to approach officers and pointing it at one of them. And what made this threat more foolish, he got so close to the officer, the cop was able to easily take it from him, which Morton didn't consider, so he ran inside.
Kind of figured no one would ever get close to his flamethrower.
He never considered that, yeah. According to the report, he appeared at his front door with his next bright idea, attempting to blind officers with a flashlight.
Oh my gosh, this guy.
But the flashlight was no match for their tasers, which lit him up. In the end, he was taken into custody without further incident.
We shouldn't have to be wrestling flamethrowers out of people's hands.
I'm with you on that.
Flashlight. Reminds me like in a video game when your strong-powered weapon runs out of ammo and you got to resort to something a lot lighter. I'll try the flashlight. I'm desperate.
13 teenage cheerleaders at Evans Middle School in Lubbock, Texas, are suffering from serious first and second-degree burns on their hands after their coach made them do bear crawls and crab walks on a scorching outdoor track. The 13-year-olds, all 8th graders, said they were punished for performing a cheer at a football game that the coach didn't want them to do, calling it disrespectful. The girls were commanded to do the bear crawls and crab walks for a mile, but most couldn't crawl past 2 laps because their hands were in so much pain. Some even got physically ill. Parents said the coach threatened the girls' futures in cheer if they didn't finish. When the punishment took place about 2 p.m., it was at least 125 degrees.
Oh, my gosh.
Toughen up.
What a psycho.
The coach has been placed on administrative leave, but parents are pushing for criminal charges.
This was malicious. This was intentional. We were being disrespectful to her, is what she said to us. And we told her our hands were burning, and she said she didn't care, and she made us go back down on the track. It's ridiculous.
I want criminal charges.
A police investigation is in progress.
I'll be.
A brand new state-of-the-art fire station in Western Germany completed just last year at a cost of tens of millions of dollars, burned to the ground because it wasn't fitted with a fire alarm.
Ain't that a bitch?
The town had proudly unveiled the new structure less than a year ago, but early yesterday, emergency services were alerted to a fire which started in a vehicle before quickly spreading throughout the $22 million brand new building.
Did they just forget to put in a fire alarm, or was the line of thinking, look, we're firemen, we're not going to have a problem with it?
It was the latter, and apparently
Really?
It's not required. It was in that particular case,
Weird.
it wasn't required, and someone chose not to put it in there. And like you said, they thought, well, there's firefighters here constantly.
Right.
So we should
If something happens, we'll be all right. Yeah.
About 170 firefighters battled the blaze, with 30-foot flames leaping from the station's roof. No one was injured. 10 fire engines destroyed, however, and apparently the lack of casualties, the relief of that, turned to disbelief that the building had no fire alarm. And some people weren't aware that it wasn't required. The exact cause of that blaze hasn't been determined, but initial reports suggest maybe a battery charger in that vehicle overheated.
Battery charger, he says.
Those battery charges, they'll get you. At the end of the story, Rangers in Wyoming believe they've figured out how to reduce the risk of wildfires. There's no longer using explosives to blow up dead horses there anymore. Yeah, you can't do it.
Yeah, I didn't know you. Okay.
The temporary pause in this unusual and gruesome practice comes as a dry spell in the state's backcountry combined with hotter than usual temperatures, which raise the risk of wildfires. Typically, the U.S. Forest Service uses explosives to dispose of animal carcasses like horses, moose, and mules.
Oh, yeah? They just kind of turn them to dust, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, I'd watch that.
It's like the exploding whale that they did on the beach.
Right, I'm going to bring that up in a second here. They have a guideline in a manual called Obliterating Animal Carcasses with Explosives.
Can I get a copy of that?
The manual, created in 1995, details where to place the charges and how many to use, ensuring the animals are fully obliterated, leaving no trace by the next day. And as Wapo referenced, the story brings to mind a more infamous event from 1970 when officials in Oregon decided to blow up a dead whale that had washed ashore. The explosion, intended to reduce the whale to smaller pieces so scavengers could eat, instead sent massive chunks of blubber flying in every direction.
Well, I'm confident that it'll work. The only thing is we're not sure just exactly how much explosives it'll take to disintegrate this thing so the scavengers, seagulls, and crabs and whatnot can clean it up. Our camera stopped rolling immediately after the blast. The humor of the entire situation suddenly gave way to a run for survival as huge chunks of whale blubber fell everywhere. A parked car over a quarter of a mile from the blast site was the target of one large chunk. The passenger compartment literally smashed. Everyone on the scene was covered with small particles of dead whale.
So ridiculous.
Boy, did that group of folks make themselves out to be a bunch of jabronis on that day.
Oh, that's so funny, though. What in the world were you thinking?
Well, we're trying to figure out how much explosives we could use.
Jesus, that just
it
frightens
destroyed
me.
cars and houses.
There's a blubber falling.
I like in the audio, you hear the blast, and then you hear it slowly coming closer towards the microphone of the whale chunks.
You think you could be that guy, Josh, who's blowing up cow and horse carcasses out in the wild?
I do think blowing stuff up is pretty cool.
I bet it's something you could get used to pretty quickly.
Yep. Probably.
As rough as it might be on your first try, I bet it's something you could get used to. I mean, the animals are already dead.
Well, I did read some of that manual I was referring to, and it just said basically there's nothing left. So yeah, it's not like you're weeding your way through intestines.
Large intestines will be hanging from your rearview mirror of your work truck,
or you
anything.
just see like part of the face of the animal looking at you like, "What the hell, bro?" Nothing like that.
We're not sure what's going to happen when we hit the switch, but we've got a lot of children and the elderly have gathered to watch us blow up. Ah, God help us!
And everyone can get as close as they want.
Yeah.
On your first day, do they just give you like a clothespin to put over your nose so you don't smell it?
Yeah.
Some things are easier than others to sneak past TSA. A 60-year-old woman really went for it, though, when she tried to sneak a samurai sword in her carry-on at LaGuardia.
A woman was found with a samurai sword in her carry-on bag at LaGuardia Airport, the TSA says. Okay, who is still unclear on the rules? I can never remember. Is it laptop in, shoes out, or laptop out, I can bring a samurai sword?
During routine luggage screening Monday, TSA agents were probably more than a little surprised to find the Japanese weapon tucked away. They quickly called in Port Authority police, who confiscated the impressive blade.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to sneak a sword through. Thursday Night Football on Prime
Oh,
tonight.
God.
We'll be watching that in Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Features a bored Al Michaels as the Saints take on the Broncos at home. Also on Amazon Prime, Brothers. Josh Brolin and Peter Dinklage play ex-cons who are also twin brothers. Brolin is trying to go straight, but Dinklage ropes him back in for a big score. Glenn Close, Brendan Fraser, and Marissa Tomei, hubba hubba, also star. Streaming now on Netflix, the third...
Nothing for Glenn Close, though, huh?
Oh, I like Glenn Close.
What?
I like Glenn Close. I mean, she's great. But Marissa Tomei, wowie. Streaming now on Netflix, the third season premiere of The Lincoln Lawyer. And tonight on CBS, the fourth season premiere of Ghosts. I hear that's great. Anybody watch Ghosts?
Never heard of it.
Nope.
I heard it's funny. No. Mike Judge, creator of Office Space, Beavis and Butthead, King of the Hill and more, 62. Norm on Cheers, George Wendt. Ted Lasso star Jason Sudeikis' uncle, 76 today.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that fun fact.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Happy golden birthday to Emmy, a.k.a. Butts, from Mom, kicking cancer's ass Jesus, and Dad, wish I had more middle fingers for cancer, Jesus. We all do. Once again, we get the great pleasure of welcoming a new member to the sisterhood, Madeline Joy. Congratulations to Mom and Dad, Medical Billing Jesus, and Taze Wapple again, Dweebus. A shout out to our 93X Promotions pal, Pete. And happy 33rd to Hung Like a Field Mouse Jesus from your stalker. That's 93X News.
The Minnesota Vikings interview.
Don't worry about the horse being blind, just load the wagon.
Touchdown! Vikings win it!
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
8 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter of Game 3. 4 seconds. Ionescu will heave and hit! And hit! Sabrina Ionescu with the biggest shot in Liberty history.
Obviously, we a little heartbroken right now because this is a game we felt like we should have won. But, got to keep it moving and get ready for Friday.
Heartbreaking loss in the WNBA Finals last night for the Minnesota Lynx. We'll get to that. Here he is, old Randy Shaver. Good morning, Randy.
Just old Randy Shaver. That's
Good
it.
morning.
Ain't no thing.
Just nice and old.
We're used to you, like an old bag of socks
I'm like an
or
old
something.
shoe, aren't I?
Randy, joining us. Help us, please, Randy, in welcoming Depot to the program as well. Vikings long snapper Andrew DePaola. Hey, Andrew.
Good morning, guys.
And thank you again for making special accommodations for us. Normally we speak with Andrew on Friday, but we have an on-location broadcast tomorrow, and we anticipate many disasters during tomorrow's broadcast. So we thought we'd drag Andrew into the mix today. I think last week, 2 weeks ago, we made You were happy enough to come on with us a couple days early as well, so we appreciate you altering your schedule.
You're a good man.
Of course. Anything for you guys, like I say.
What's different about What's different about your Thursdays as opposed to when we usually jaw jack with you on a Friday? What are you up against today?
Mornings aren't any different. You know, we still have meetings starting at 8. It's just Thursday's a longer day than a Friday. Friday's short, quick, and fast, and Thursday's pretty long. It's a pretty decent work day.
Well, then that's even more reason to give you thanks. Who's the last guy, when you're at a team meeting, who's the last guy on the roster that you want to see stand up with something to say? You know what I mean? Where you know this guy's going to drag this. All I want is something to eat.
You want to get out the door.
Yeah.
Do you have one of those? We've worked with those where you think you're done, and then they have one more question that means nothing, but they just wanted to ask a question.
Okay, you can. There's going to be a 2-part answer. You can answer from the coaching staff and from the actual playing roster. Who's the last guy you want to speak up at a meeting?
Oh, man. So, thankfully, there isn't anyone on this team this year that I feel that way about. I'd say in my earlier years, a guy would ask a question, and he would want clarity on something, and that would draw out the meeting an extra, I don't know, minute or 2 or 3 minutes. And it was just like, oh, come on. Like, how do you not know this? But now, kind of being my old age, my wily veteran status, I'm like, no, let's ask the questions. Let's get these answers so that everyone's on the same page.
You're more thorough now, you're more thorough now in your veteran years, sure.
Yep.
I think a lie we were all told in school was that there's no such thing as a stupid question.
Yeah, there is.
Because everyone who's been to a meeting knows there are stupid questions.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a coach who's especially long-winded where everybody rolls their eyes as soon as he raises his hand?
He's not going to answer this.
There's got to be. Coaches love to hear themselves talk.
Have you noticed, like, on Hard Knocks, I think it's fake, or I shouldn't, maybe fake's the wrong word, but amped up the swear words? It seems like all the coaches like to throw in swear words to make them a little more cool. Like, they're just like the rest of us. Or is there that much swearing going on?
A lot of foul language at team meetings, Andrew?
No. KO keeps it pretty clean at team meetings. Not saying he hasn't gone off, but for the most part, he usually keeps it pretty clean as far as language-wise goes. There's like a handful of coaches that's either like they're all in on the cuss words, like, I mean, they use them every other, or they're like, no, like, we're going to substitute frick and shoot, and, all these other substitutes for them.
Phillip Rivers.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, right.
What about this? Who's the funniest person on the team or the funniest coach?
Ooh, the funniest coach is Wes Phillips.
Is he? So, whenever he has something to say, it's always entertaining?
What does he do for a living exactly?
He's the offensive coordinator.
Offensive coordinator, Wes Phillips. He's a funny guy.
He's got this, dry sense of humor. It takes you, a second or two to realize, he's joking, and then you're like, oh, dang, that was pretty funny. And then he's always got a joke. He's always he'll always start his meetings and he'll be like, all right, guys, I got a joke. And he goes into this joke, and it's always funny. He's a funny guy.
I suppose you better have a sense of humor in that position, right? That's got to be a stressful spot to be in, the offensive or defensive coordinator.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Ask Bob Schnelker if he's still alive. I don't think he's still alive, but yes, go ahead, Randy.
I find that to be an art. Somebody that can tell good jokes on a consistent basis, because that means that you've remembered all these jokes over the years and you know just the right time to use a certain joke. I haven't known too many people that are really good joke tellers. Majors was one of them, Paul Majors.
Oh, man, that guy's funny.
But I just don't to me it's a fine art to be able to do that. So if this guy's
your sense of humor could use some work.
I know,
Randy.
for sure. For sure.
A great joke teller. Back to team meetings now, real quick, if you don't mind. Here's the experience that we've had, and tell me if it's similar in the NFL. A lot of times, that person who's asking a question at the wrong time when everyone just wants to get the hell out of there is someone who's not I'm not trying to be a dick here, but not a major factor in the overall day-to-day business. here at the radio station, right? Some dude, where everyone in the room goes, who's that guy? Oh, on weekends he does this and that. If you have someone at an NFL team meeting who's going to drag it out, is it usually a backup where everyone's thinking, well, you're not even going to play anyway. Why are you...
Look, I'm not saying on this team this year.
Not this team.
There's no
not
way
this
he's
team,
going to
but yes, in years past, I've been like, bro, you're not even going to get in.
Yeah. But I'm sure you understand that individual strategy is, look, I need to be noticed. I want more attention. It might help further my... so they're going to speak. It makes sense, doesn't it, Josh?
Yeah, you're right. There are times where like, did that guy sneak in or who? I've never heard or seen that person before. What are they doing?
If I was a backup on an NFL roster, I think I might be that guy too, just so everyone remembers that I'm there.
Well, that probably happens a lot.
You'll get remembered.
Yeah.
That probably happens. That probably happens early in a training camp or whatever when there's 1,000 different guys that are all brand new or whatever. Doesn't it kind of thin itself out as you move along during the season where you kind of know everybody at that point?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. Absolutely. It's spring and sort of training camps when you get those questions where, like, it's worded a different way where you're like, hold on, we already answered that if you just word it correctly. Like, you know, like you add a couple extra words to sound, I don't know, more intelligent or more interested.
Oh, yeah.
When it's just like,
right.
you could ask that in 6 words.
What about,
so, yeah.
how about this? If you had a coach, because we've heard this from previous Vikings, lesser Vikings we've had on the show before you.
Much lesser.
Lesser Vikings.
Far lesser. Far lesser.
God.
Have you had this where a coach is, you know, and you appreciate the effort, but they're trying to get real creative, and it's so creative it's just weird and awkward? Have you had that situation, whether in high school, college, or pro?
Kind of a long, winding story,
it's just
but in
really
the end, there's a surprise point. You know, a surprise kind of yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
A lot of those guys are kind of deep, aren't they? They try to get deep.
Anything you would be comfortable sharing?
Yeah, when I was playing for another team, and so our coach was like going on this rant. I can't remember specifically what it was about. Giving effort or like playing your heart out, something like that. And he was going on, and I think we were kind of all like, we were all with him, I think, like for a little bit. And then he kind of started to lose us a little bit during this rant. And I think he kind of felt like he was losing the room. And then all of a sudden, like at the end of his rant, you know, it's about like playing your heart out and sacrificing for the team and like all this other stuff. And then he goes like, and you know what? He goes, and I'm a veteran, so you all need to thank me. And we all were kind of like, we all kind of like looked around, and he was like, come on. And we were all like, okay. And so we all like started clapping, and like one guy stood up, you know, because he's a veteran, like we want to pay his respect. So one guy stood up, so the rest of the room stood up, and then it was like, hold on, what was that about? Like, was it about us giving effort, or were we just giving him a standing ovation?
Yeah. How exactly did we get here?
Yeah, and I think he just sensed that he was losing the room. And I think that's all it was. Like, I don't think he meant to like kind of like tell everyone. And I didn't know he was a veteran, but like I didn't think he meant to be like, hey, I'm a veteran. Like, this is where I'm going with this. I just think he could kind of see the faces of guys like losing it. Yeah. And so he was like, all right, I need to get their attention back. And it's like, oh,
I better play a card here, or I'm going to lose these guys completely. I mean, it's similar to you know, when we radio dorks get an opportunity to do a stage announcement for a major band, and maybe you feel like you got to say something to the crowd. If you lose them, what do, Josh? What's the cheap pop secret in stage announcements?
The F word. That's a good one.
You curse, you shout and curse, and the crowd will always react.
Yeah, another one you guys told me was say something about how, like, yeah, go Troops, or
America.
Yeah, America rocks.
Or just bring them drinking. You know, you say something, who's partying out there tonight?
Who's wasted? Yeah, that kind of thing.
Shout.
Maybe this guy knew one of the tricks, and he was like, hey, let's play the veteran card, and I'll get him right back.
By the way, speaking of coaches, in the intro, who was that quote made by? We heard some audio in the intro. Who was that said, don't tell me, I'm trying to remember it, don't worry that the horse is blind, just load the wagon? Who made that comment?
That was John Madden.
John Madden? Back when he was alive, he used to say that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't. It sounded familiar. All right. You following what he's saying there, Andrew? Don't worry about the horse being blind. Just load the wagon.
I can't say that I do.
No, I don't either. I don't know if I'm following that either.
Oh, we didn't get to who's the funniest teammate you have?
Oh, the funniest teammate. Oh, man, that's a good one. I guess it kind of depends on, like, what you consider funny. Like, I'm a real, like, dry personality, like, sense of humor guy. Like, I just think that's hilarious. Oh, gosh. Like, Camus, Grugier Hill, funny dude. He's a funny guy.
He's funny.
Jay Ward. Jay Ward has got, like, this, like, funny, just dry, bland sense of humor. And I'm like, dang, that's actually kind of funny. Like, he's a funny dude. And then, like, it's funny, Harrison Smith will hit you with a zinger every now and then out of nowhere because he's a quiet dude.
Yeah, I was going to say, that surprises me a bit.
He'll just hit you with a zinger out of nowhere, like just walking by, and he'll just, like, one-line it and then keep walking. And you're like, wow, that was a good one.
The Hitman. Yeah.
It's good stuff. Yeah, so as I was saying, we're heading out today. We got to head out today for a party we're hosting at a casino, St. Croix Casino in Turtle Lake. So tomorrow we'll be doing an on-location broadcast. Tonight there's a beer party, on-location broadcast tomorrow morning, and then a live band tomorrow night. So it was much easier for you. It was much easier for us to have you on this morning, and we appreciate it. So around here, a lot of us experienced this when we turned 18. The first place we wanted to go to was either the casino or the strip joint. Which did you go to first, Andrew DePaola, when you hit 18 years old?
When I hit 18, oh, man, I'm trying to think.
Casino or the Boom Boom Room?
Yeah, it's tradition. I mean, that's just what you did on your 18th birthday.
Yeah.
I was in fall camp, my 18th birthday, in college.
You didn't get to go to either?
No.
Well, Randy Shaver, when you hit 18, you were a legal drinker back in your day, weren't you?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you head straight for the bar?
That was not. I didn't. I don't even remember what I did. My birthday's around Christmas.
Were you excited to vote?
My birthday is 2 days before Christmas.
Oh.
So there wasn't much opportunity to go hit a bar on December 23rd. So
wow.
I made up for it though in college. So
Yeah.
I have no reason to feel bad about not doing something on my 18th birthday.
I was the first one of my friends to turn 18 and then 21. That's how birthdays work. So I didn't really have the opportunity.
We're just surprised you kept the same friends that long.
Yeah. So I didn't really have that opportunity when I first turned 18. I mean, now I wasn't going to go by myself. Now I have no shame going to a strip club or a casino by myself. But at the time, I thought that was a little weird.
All right. So, Andrew DePaola, you kind of got robbed of that cheap thrill on your 18th birthday because you were playing ball.
Yeah, I did.
Drag. You want to redo it over again? We'll join you.
Yeah, let's have an 18th birthday party for you this summer when we got nothing going on.
That's a great idea.
I'm down.
Everybody deserves a do-over.
Yeah, what do you want to do?
18th birthday?
Yeah.
For your honorary 18th birthday party, what should we do?
Oh, man, if I was being honest, it would sound so boring. But, I mean, I'll say casino, you know. I like a good roll of the dice.
You do? You'll roll some dice at the casino? Okay.
Isn't that what you do at the casino? You roll some dice?
There's a lot of things you can do, and that's one of them for sure.
There you go.
What are the can you bet on other sports, or what are the rules there?
Yeah, because you could tell us what bets you want to make. We can place them tonight.
Yeah, that's true. If you got some info, maybe.
Can you want to bet on some college football or something?
Yeah, we can bet on other sports. We just can't bet. We can't bet on the NFL, and we can't bet while we're at work.
Oh. Well, then, when you leave work today, text us or whatever, because we're going to we'll be in a sports book by 6 o'clock tonight. I know, Randy Shaver, you're going to want to make some bets tomorrow,
Do
aren't
not
you?
leave a paper trail, Andrew. Leave a paper trail.
He just said what
you can do other sports.
We would never hamstring.
I know, but still.
I'll throw you under the bus, Randy.
I know you have already in my life.
Tomorrow, be ready, Randy. We can make some bets for you tomorrow. We know you enjoy that.
I think we did this last year, didn't we?
Yeah, you gave some advice.
Yeah, and I won because of you.
Let me do a little research.
Oh, yeah,
today
yeah. Take 24 hours.
And see if I can come up with a college football or something for you guys to do,
right.
or an NFL.
Whatever you like. Whatever you like.
Sounds fun.
We'll take multiple bets. Well, there you go. Sorry, Andrew, about your 18th birthday, but like we said, we can do it. We can have a do-over. Did you get into any trouble as a kid, Andrew?
Yeah, but like I was smart about it. Like I did stuff, and I either did stuff that like people wouldn't really like care too much about, or like I did stuff, but like I made sure that I like covered my tracks and wouldn't get caught.
What kind of trouble did you get into?
Oh boy,
underage drinking?
No, funny enough, I never drank underage.
Petty thievery?
Oh, that's a good one.
No, I remember I stole like candy once as a kid, and my dad, he went nuts. He did not like that, so he had a stern talking with some objects being put on my backside pretty hard.
All right, so no stealing, no underage. What were you peeping in windows or something? How did you get in trouble when you were a kid?
I mean, like I don't know if it's like normal kid stuff, but like we played Ding Dong Ditch.
Oh yeah,
you all know that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. What do you call it out here?
Same thing.
Okay, yeah, we would Ding Dong Ditch. We would go mudding.
Mudding, like driving trucks through mud piles and whatnot.
Yeah, just driving your car or your truck through like a field and
tearing up people's properties.
Well, it was always farmland that hadn't been like planted yet. We never actually did like anyone's like front lawn.
All right. Well, it sounds like
that's fun.
You were a good kid. It sounds like you were a good kid overall.
I grew up in a farm town, so like there wasn't really too much to like get into.
Yeah.
No arson or anything?
No, never lit anything on fire.
Grew up in a farm town.
I think Andrew has figured out that he's not going to let you guys get him in trouble.
He's too smart for that.
He's doing a really good job this morning.
He's acting like Brad Ryder.
I'm trying to sound cool without you guys realizing like I wasn't really that cool growing up.
Yeah, whoever the media coach is or the Vikings that coaches you guys up on how to do interviews is really good at his job.
I'm picturing him metaphorically. He's dodging bullets like in the Matrix. Just real smooth, getting around it.
I don't know. I think he's being honest with us. I think he was a good kid.
I think he is too. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, I was kind of good, and I'm sure my wife can corroborate that because she was with me. So,
growing up in that farm town, it's a wonder you weren't married right out of high school.
Nope.
That's how a lot of them do it.
I waited a couple of years.
That's how a lot of them do it in the small towns. So you got the Detroit Lions at home this weekend. Do I have that correct?
Yep.
That's correct.
See, that's a big game now.
It's a big game. Wow. Every game in the division is going to be a big game because the division is the best in football, and it's not even close right now. So,
congratulations, Andrew. You're in the best division in the entire National Football League.
Thank you.
Don't screw it up.
Yeah, come on.
Don't screw it up. We know you got to let you go, or we know that we have to let you go. So, again, appreciate your time, Andrew DePaola. Good luck this weekend.
Good luck
we
Sunday.
Always dig chatting with you.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Stay a pimp. Stay a pimp, Andrew DePaola. There he goes. Sunday's game against the Detroit Lions. I suppose if the Lions somehow win that game, then they'll be tied at the top of the division.
Yes, they will. Yeah.
Well, son of a bitch bastard. I read that the Vikings will be without am I correct on this? Former Golden Gopher Blake Cashman.
He's got turf toe. Yeah.
But am I right about the former Golden Gopher part?
You are. Former Eden Prairie, former Golden Gopher.
Turf toe.
Owie.
Yeah.
I've always heard terrible things about that.
Yeah. You don't hear about that too often anymore. It used to be on the harder artificial turf.
Yeah.
That felt like cement.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't really hear about turf toe.
Every swinging D in the 80s who played in the NFL caught turf toe 6 or 7 times during every regular season.
And before they figured out how to do the tape on the arms you would get those burns on your elbows and your forearms because of your sliding across that terrible turf. I mean, the Metrodome, honest to God, when they put that turf in the Metrodome in the middle of the 80s,
it was like diving in a parking lot.
It was. It was like being on cement. It wasn't the cushy stuff that you have now.
Right.
It was like a carpet.
Yes.
Is really what it was.
Well, but harder than that. Yeah, it was brutal. You're right. The guys would get the wicked burns. I mean, beyond rug burn all the way up their arms. Yeah. I walked on the turf at the old Metrodome towards the end of its run when they put that spongy.
A little bit better.
Oh, way better. I would imagine, because it actually was quite spongy. I was surprised at how soft it really was. So way better than what the boys were playing on in the 80s.
Especially in baseball, too, because the bounce off of that, it was like playing in a parking lot. And then you couple that with the ceiling that you could never see the ball on. And it was such a home field advantage for the Twins because teams hated to come in there and play because it was such a mess, the Metrodome was. So.
There you go, Randy Shaver. So sorry to announce that Blake Cashman won't be available.
Yep, that's too bad.
And he leads the team in tackles. He leads the team. That's what they say.
Played very, very well, yes.
All right, what did we see the other day? We saw Devontae Adams and Amari Cooper get dealt. A couple of wide receivers being traded. SB Nation is going this way. They're jaw-jacking about 5 wide receivers who could be on the market ahead of the NFL trade deadline, which is November 5th, so they got some time now. November 5th is the NFL trade deadline. 5 wide receivers that might go Summers.
Okay.
And they mention these cats as being potentially like the final piece to a puzzle for some ball club to get over the hump and do some damage in the playoff. DeAndre Hopkins of the Tennessee Titans.
Yep, he's not getting much work at Tennessee right now. And he's frustrated.
Is he frustrated?
Yes, he is. He's come out and said how frustrated he is. Yeah.
When he comes out and talks about how frustrated he is, does he say it like this? Does he say, "It's frustrating"?
No, he doesn't say it like that.
It's frustrating. And is he using an old doll named Popo?
He's not. He's not.
What movie? Beer Fest. Deontay Johnson of the Carolina Panther.
He's actually having a really good year, despite the fact that Carolina's terrible for the most part. He's actually playing really well. So they may get some good return if they decide to trade him.
Mike Woolham, New York Jets.
Done nothing for the Jets.
Oh.
And now that Devontae's there, I don't think Mike Williams is going to play much.
Cooper Kupp, Los Angeles Rams of Anaheim.
Hurt all the time. Great receiver when he's healthy. Supposedly coming back like week 8 or week 9. But he just can't stay healthy.
And the 5th receiver in this report from SB Nation on wide receivers who could be on the market and be traded before November 5th is Justin Jefferson.
No. You got the wrong
teammate.
Guy.
You didn't let me finish my sentence. Justin Jefferson's teammate, Jordan Addison.
No, not going to happen.
Here's what they say in the article by damn Randy Shaver. They say the Vikings are soaring right now. Look up, Josh. Look at them.
Oh, there they are.
The Vikings are soaring. But they say Addison has kind of gotten lost in the shuffle.
No.
Jeez, you good?
Not only has he underperformed this season, but he's an off-the-field headache.
See, I disagree with that.
Okay, I'll finish it up here. It says this trading Jordan Addison creates a scenario where the Vikings could deal him for secondary help and get some more draft picks to offset their recent trades. Don't sleep on this being a possibility for the Vikings, is how you say their name, to move on from an extremely talented headache while also getting better in the process.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think first of all, you're always going to be in Justin Jefferson's shadow. That's always going to happen as long as he's on the roster. And so to play second fiddle to Justin Jefferson, there's 1,000 receivers who'd love to have that opportunity. So I don't see the Vikings doing that. getting more draft picks is a big deal. They've got to figure out what they're going to do in the future because they've kind of mortgaged the future for right now. But I just don't see them doing that. I just don't.
All right. And Ashley, yeah, I'm good.
All right, good.
I got a text from someone that said, don't ignore Ashley. She just asked you if you're good. Yes, I'm good. I just had something in my throat there. I had to.
I get nervous.
Tonight's Thursday night football matchup, Josh talked about it earlier. Tonight's Thursday night football matchup is scheduled to be the Denver Broncos at the New Orleans Saints, 7 o'clock tonight. I love Sean Payton, and you guys know that.
Yes,
I bet you the Denver Broncos would hire Sean Payton to be their head coach if they ever had the chance.
Well, they have, ironically enough, and they're going to New Orleans tonight.
He's a great coach and a great person. I bet he doesn't last much longer in New Orleans. I bet a team like Denver. I love that guy, and I hope he's got a bounty out tonight. I hope he does.
I think Denver's going to win that game. New Orleans is so beat up right now. They just lost Shaheed. He's out on IR. Chris Olave is out. I mean, New Orleans is banged up. So,
you're picking the Denver Broncos?
I'm picking the Broncos, even though I think they're terrible.
Hey, Cubby, should we put some money on the Denver Broncos tonight? Randy likes them.
Yeah, let's do that. Why not?
They're probably not the favorite. Probably not the favorite either. So
well, Russell Wilson has not been playing well for the Broncos lately.
Mr. Unlimited.
If we lose money, we're not going to get mad at you, Randy Shaver.
No way.
I know you're not, because it's not going to matter to me if you lose it or not.
Well, that kind of was hurtful.
Denver Broncos, New Orleans Saints. You know, you're going to think there's something wrong with me, but there's not. I'm telling you, last year when we went to Turtle Lake on Thursday, the New Orleans Saints were featured in that game as well.
Were they really?
Yes, they were.
That's hilarious.
Here's a story that isn't and shouldn't be a story. But, websites need stuff to talk about. And so do we. It's about that New York Jets super fan, super dork fireman Ed.
He's mad.
Is anyone familiar with this character?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. To cut to the chase is how you say it. He's been whining about how he's not featured on the big screen at Jets games as much as he used to be.
I don't know exactly what's going on, but they're phasing us out. And I'd like to know if somebody knows anything, please let me know because it's evident that it's happening.
This is a grown man.
Hasn't that happened here with a couple of Vikings super fans?
Well,
I guess
probably.
I'm not sure.
I don't remember a Viking superfan complaining about not getting enough attention at the ball games, with 59,000 other people there. But it reminds me of that Viking Steve, Moto Viking. What was that guy with the beard that would run around years ago?
That guy.
I can picture him.
And he thought he was so important that one year he said, well, now I need $500,000 a game to run out onto the field like a dork and ride a motorcycle up and down. Yeah. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I thought,
Didn't everyone just basically laugh him out of town at that
point?
Pretty much.
And that's what's happening in this case, too.
This is a grown man, this fireman Ed. Who do you think you are? But here's what's funny is he's whining about how he's not featured as much on the big screen at Jets games anymore. And he's telling people, I think I heard a quote from him yesterday. He said, we have to change this. We have to do something about this. What are you, nuts? No, we don't.
What's he talking about?
You're a grown man, for Christ's sake. But what's really funny is Jets fans have had enough of his bit, so they're not terribly sympathetic. I looked at the godless social media. One person said, this is the definition of entitlement.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo, I'm not on the big screen anymore at the stadium.
And he's like an older guy.
Yes. He's got to be in his 60s. Someone else called him extremely annoying.
I did see him on TV when the Jets played. Was it Monday night they played?
Yep. Well, you should tweet him and let him know that because his feelings are shattered right now.
I did see
him. The TV shows him, right? He's upset like the stadium isn't getting him on the big screen. People are texting in the name. I didn't say it on purpose, Wapple, just in case.
I was going to say he wanted $20,000 a game.
That's insane.
I remember who. I just didn't want to. I don't know if we're allowed to say that or not.
Viking Steve is what I think his name was. Another individual, a Jets fan, said this about Fireman Ed. He's a weirdo with a big ego. Obviously.
Gosh, I think we know a few of those in our lives, right?
Something's got to be done about this, you guys. Remember back in the day, I used to be on the big screen. It's not happening anymore. We got to make some phone calls on this. I mean, what's going on? Something's got to change here. And I think he actually, this Fireman Ed.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I still had the quote in front of me, but he said something along the lines. He hinted at how the team needs him now more than ever.
They do?
Right.
Wow.
He is doing.
Does he not have a family to pull him aside and say, look, Dad, this has got to stop. You're embarrassing yourself.
Exactly.
Randy Shaver, you probably know this because you're the Minnesota high school football psycho.
Guru?
Guru, sure, I'll go with that. This is really a damn shame. And again, you probably already know this. The Wadena Deer Creek, how do you say that?
Deer Creek?
The Wadena Deer Creek football team
Creek
has had to cancel the rest of their season because of injuries. They've got so many kids injured that they had to call it.
Oh, that's
I actually didn't know that's the reason why. I did see they forfeited their game.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know the reason why.
Doesn't that suck?
Well, it's a small school. I mean, these teams that play,
even when they combine Wadena and Deer Creek, it's still small.
It is. Yeah.
It looks like they only had one game left.
But they can't play in the playoff.
Oh yeah, true.
That's
I
correct.
forgot about that. Playoffs.
They can't play in the playoff.
Yeah, last night was the regular season ending for everybody except for a bunch of 6A teams that played today.
And the coach said the injuries started to pile up earlier on in the season.
Yep.
And they're in a position now where they would have to trot out 14 and 15-year-old kids.
Yeah.
And he said that's not in our best interest.
No, it's not.
These are young 8th grader, 9th grader kids that,
Yep.
they're not ready yet.
Even at a small school level, that's not a good thing to do. Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever heard of anything like that before where they just had to say, well, we're out of healthy players.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Well, I mean, we saw quite a bit of that during COVID in 2020 where teams had to cancel because of
sickness.
Sickness and everything.
Okay, sure. I guess I do remember that.
Yeah. So
up there in Wadena, I'll tell you what.
And Deer Creek.
You're not far from New York Mills, are you, when you're in Wadena?
I'm not sure.
You guys ever party with anyone from...
I think they're, just to the west, northwest of there? New York Mills.
Is it
New York Mills?
Is it New York Mills, the home of Janet Carvinen?
You damn right it's the home of Janet Carvinen.
Yes.
I never partied with her.
One of the greatest girls basketball players ever in the state of Minnesota.
She will stomp your guts out at basketball still to this day.
Yeah.
Another blowout in the National League Championship Series. Game 3 last night. The Dodgers whooped the New York Mets in New York City 8-0. So the Dodgers take a 2-1 lead in the best-of-7 series. Shohei launched a 3-run dong in the 8th inning. That put a lid on that ballgame.
Yeah, they got to the Mets bullpen. Severino did a decent job. He just threw too many pitches and walked too many guys, but he didn't give up any runs. But they got to the Mets bullpen, especially McGill last night. So, yeah, it's you see the trades that the Dodgers made. The Kopech kid gets the win last night. He pitched for the White Sox, remember? They traded him over to the Dodgers. So
right.
But I think the Dodgers are on their way, and it looks like the Yankees may be on their way. So
yes,
which I think Major League Baseball will be thrilled to death to have both big cities and both coasts completely covered.
Friend St. John Sin he's not going to wear pants the entire season, so he can easily access his Johnson.
Yeah.
The LA Dodgers pitching staff pitched their 4th shutout in the past 5 playoff games last night. Wow.
Yeah, they've been great.
The Mets did have their chances. They got the bases loaded in the 2nd inning. They got Lindor at the plate, and he struck out. So Game 4 is this afternoon in Queens. It says here, $325 million rookie pitcher Yoshinobu Yamamoto is scheduled to start for Los Angeles against Jose Quintana for the Mets. $325 million rookie.
Hurt almost the entire season.
Yeah.
He's pitched very little this season. So
they're going to play Game 3 of the American League Championship Series tonight in Ohio. Yankees Guardians.
Yes. I think it's this afternoon.
Yeah, maybe I have them mixed up.
It's like 4 o'clock.
Okay, so the ALCS plays first, then the NL. Cleveland better show something tonight.
It's Matthew Boyd, the former Tiger pitcher,
okay,
pitching for Cleveland today against Clark Schmidt, who's been hurt for basically most of the season too for the Yankees. So,
and I think if the Guardians are down 5 or 6 runs by say the 7th inning, just start a brawl.
Yes,
because it's over. Just start a fight.
Yeah.
Hit Judge right in the jawbone with a heater, and then let's just fight.
Yeah, this is the must win for Cleveland. You're right. They lose this, they're done. So,
back to Wadena Deer Creek. Their football program had to shut down because of injuries. Is that a 9-man club, Randy Shaver? Do you know the answer?
I don't. I can look real quick. I don't think they are. But let me look, because I actually have the standing stuff up here in front of me.
The reason I asked if they're a 9-man club is East Winstead Jesus texted in, and when he was in high school playing football, he played 9-man.
I think they're Class A, Nick.
Who?
Wadena Deer Creek is not a 9.
Not 9-man. Okay,
is not a 9 player. No.
Well, okay. Well, East Winstead Jesus sounded like he plays 9. He played 9-man. He said they had a game against Maple Lake.
Oh, no.
Many years ago.
Well, that's got to be many years ago.
Many years ago. They were down to 7 healthy players, but they played the game anyway.
Sure.
And that must have been back before we all got so concerned about everyone on planet Earth being injured, and we have to make sure it never happens again. But anyway, he says they went down to 7 players. They punted twice on 2nd down.
Oh, man.
Just because they didn't have any ideas left, I guess.
So Wadena Deer Creek won one game this year, the 3rd game of the season. They beat Pine River Bacchus, but they did forfeit to Staples Motley last night to finish the season 1-7.
All right.
And they're in Class A.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Well, okay. Thank you for the text, East Winstead Jesus. I love hearing your stories. And it's also really interesting to be in contact with someone from Winstead who can speak in complete sentences. Here's a listener that says Wadena is, like you already confirmed, Randy Shaver, they put 11 men on the field in Wadena. But you know who only plays 9-man? Verndale.
Oh, yeah? That's right.
They played 9-man.
Coached by the winningest coach in Minnesota State history, Mike Malin.
If I would have grown up in Verndale, I would have worn overalls every day.
Yes. You would have worn them over your football pads.
Wouldn't that be something? It'd be great if that's their uniform.
That'd be so cute.
I would have worn bib overalls every day if I grew up in Verndale. I keep even over my football uniform or baseball or basketball, can of Copenhagen right in that front pouch. Back to baseball real quick. You know that Tropicana Field where the Tampa Bay Devil Rays play. There's stories going around. I mean, it's a long ways to go before next season starts, but they say it's possible that their stadium won't be ready for the start of next season because of that hurricane whipping through and tearing the lid off, right?
Yeah.
Word is they're going to play the first part of their home schedule next year in Oakland at the Coliseum.
No.
I was hoping you guys would buy that one.
Come on.
That'd be great, wouldn't they?
That would be fun.
No.
Here's another team for you guys.
Big league team. Well, no, look at it this way. Big league team. It's got no place to play. Everyone in Oakland just got their hearts torn out. Put the Devil Rays there for a few weeks until they put a proper lid back on the ballpark. They'd have a riot with that in Oakland.
First of all, early in the baseball season in Florida, you don't need the lid on the place.
Okay.
You know, the weather is decent enough in March and April. That's why teams spring train down there. So you don't even need the lid. You need the lid in the middle of the summertime. So,
but forget about that. I'm just I'm just trying to create some good times for those poor bastards in Oakland. Imagine how excited
it's too late for that, Nick. It's too late for that. It's too late.
It's not too late.
It is too late.
You put the Devil Rays back in that garbage stadium for maybe a month, they'd have a hell of a lot of laughs with that in Oakland. Yeah, it'll never be the same again. Their hearts will never be unbroken completely.
Get used to it. The Oakland A's will be in Sacramento over the next 2 years, 2 to 3 years, while they build a new baseball stadium in Las Vegas.
You put the Devil Rays there for a month, 25-cent beers.
And then Tom Brady can co-own that team too.
Oh, they would love the new management. 25-cent beer night. Woo!
25-cent beer night, and your old gym teacher is starting the game.
A's who?
All right. What else, real quick, as we got to get going? Oh, the Lynx got beat. Yeah, we played the audio earlier.
Yeah,
it was a
they
dramatic
gave up
end.
a 15-point lead. So New York did to them what the Lynx did to New York in Game 1, basically, last night.
The lead fell into the toilet last night for the Lynx, and they lost by 3.
And then they lost on a last-second long-range 3, 80-77. So now, if the Lynx lose, they're done. Okay, Game 4 is Friday?
Yep, Friday
tomorrow.
night. I had a buddy at the game, and he just talked about how the wind just got sucked out of that place, and he was driving home with 2 crying kids in the back seat.
Oh gosh, I'm sure, yeah.
I read a couple articles saying similar. That was just complete change in the crowd there.
But that's what happened in New York, too, when the Lynx won the first game. So
19,521 people at last night's game.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Cool.
It's amazing. It's so great. It's awesome.
Roastmaster Jesus texted in to say people from Winstead may be able to use. They might be able to use complete sentences, but every word whistles because they don't have a full set of chiclets. I used to spend time in Winstead. My sister used to live out there. My sister used to run the hardware store in Winstead.
There are some little towns we just have to stay out of. You can't wear 93X gear in Winstead, Maple Lake. You just can't. They love us in Delano. They still love us in Delano.
I pulled a hottie out of the Blue Note one night there in Winstead. I know what I'm talking about.
I'm sure you do.
I'm kind of an adopted son out there because I spent some time. Finally, before we go, last night Sidney Crosby became the 10th player in NHL history to reach 1,600 career points. He assisted on a power play goal in the first period. They were playing the Buffalo Sabres. Jaromir Jagr was the last player to join this 1,600-point club, and that was quite a few years ago. So the others in that club is kind of like, who were we talking about the other day? Ovechkin.
Oh, yeah, same guys.
There's a lot of the regular, what's the slogan again? What's that movie that I never watched, but everyone says I should have watched? The Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
It's the usual suspects when we run down this kind of a thing. The other players in the 1,600-point club, Wayne Gretzky, Jaromir Jagr, I already mentioned him. Mark Messier, Gordie Howe, Ron Francis, Marcel Dion, Nick Olson, Steve Yzerman, Mario Lemieux, and Joe Sakic. And then Evgeny Malkin, Crosby's teammate, scored his 500th career goal.
Wow.
He's the 48th player in NHL history to score 500 goals. The others are as follows.
Oh, gosh.
I would never read those 48 players. I wouldn't. I'll tell you that Dino Ciccarelli and Mike Modano are in that group. 500 goals.
Sure, yeah.
Mike Gartner's in that group. I'm just trying to go through former North Stars for you.
Hey, it's Ryan Suter night tonight in St. Louis.
What does that mean?
Don't the Wild play in St. Louis?
That was 2 nights ago.
Yeah,
that was 2 nights ago. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they play Columbus on Saturday.
Did Grandpa not take his medication, or what happened?
I don't know.
He's retired. He doesn't know what day it is.
I don't know why I have that in front of me. Like
that was Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
And
Tuesday night.
Ryan Suter scored 6 goals. The Pigs lost 6-0 to Ryan Suter.
No wonder I missed it.
It was aggravating. No
wonder I
Then he stripped off all of his gear like Ned Braden at the end of the game.
Did the strip tease?
He's going to catch his death out there. Yeah. Randy, tomorrow morning, we have our fingers crossed that everything will work out fine. And we'll have you and Brad Ryder on the damn telephone together while we broadcast live from Turtle Lake.
I will be on for just a short period tomorrow because I have a commitment. I have a live show that I have to prepare for. But yes, I'll be on.
You have a live radio show that you have to prepare for?
I have a live.
That sounds familiar.
No. I have a live streaming show for high school football tomorrow morning, so I will be on till a little bit before 8 o'clock tomorrow.
I can live with that, although Josh is pretty pissed.
You should have heard the swear words coming out of his mouth off the air yesterday, Randy.
You and Brad Ryder will be with us if we can get the phones to work. Thanks, Randy. And think about those bets you want to make now.
Yes, I'm going to work on that today. I'll have a couple of parlays for you guys ready for tomorrow.
Perfect.
Holler at us tomorrow then, you bastard. Thanks.
See ya.
We'll be back in a few minutes here on the program.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud. They lose control. They do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this winter. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating and Air Conditioning helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst time.
Hey, Ashley here. Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Have a boiler? Save $40 on your boiler tune-up. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings. Stay cozy, stay ready.
You met Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now Lala and her friends share everything on Give Them Lala.
Baby S is giving me money-making moves in the room.
Yeah. So I'm going to have one kid who's like, I want to just live in a box and do like artistic dancing and paint. Ocean's going to be like, it doesn't matter if I'm broke, Mom. I'm passionate about it. And Baby S is going to be the one that says passion doesn't pay bills, Ocean.
Watch what Lala is talking about on YouTube or search for Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
It's a complete crap.
I hear you, and I'll tell you what, we hope all is well with you, and we thank you for tuning in to the effing program this morning. I mean, a beautiful Thursday morning. It is 8:28 here on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Ain't this something right here, Cubby? Just yesterday, we were talking about a gal with she's fully equipped with 2 vaginas. We discussed that yesterday. What a miracle she is. Here we are today, and now we get to learn together as a family about a guy with 3 penises. Part of our conversation about the double vag gal, we branched over to, well, are there a lot of double ween fellas running around town? And right here, we are presented with a man who has 3 penises. So the double vagina gal and the 3 penis guy, they should meet, but they won't. They won't. You want to know why? Because the tri-peen dude is dead.
Oh, no.
That's awful.
How dead? Because there's a window where maybe they could still work it out.
Yeah, you can sustain an erection even after he died. At least they learned that in the movie Clerks. I'm assuming Kevin Smith did his fact-checking on that.
Let me see how dead the man is. Well, we'll get there. Doctors in the United Kingdom made this announcement that they discovered the second ever recorded case of triphallia. And that's when a man has 3 units swing in. Well, not legitimately, not literally swinging. Because so much of this stuff happens up inside the body.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. I was slightly disappointed yesterday when we learned about the woman with 2 vaginas. I was expecting magical things, and I wanted to see all the pictures, but then we learned that one of her special purposes is up inside the body.
Because, I mean, as someone who has 1 penis, which is also mostly internal, I would be pretty disappointed if I had the opportunity of just having 3 underwhelming penises. I mean, imagine the fun you could have with groups of people. But, yeah, 2 are internal, that doesn't even count.
You could just get away with anything with 3 penises. You could manage anything.
Yep.
Doctors only found out about this, that the dude had a triple. They only found out after he died. He was 78 years old. Still, I don't think I have it in here when he checked out. But it was a happy accident. He donated his body to science. So I imagine, as morbid as it sounds, they were cutting him up and keeping the good parts, right? donated his body to science, and that's when they discovered the triple wiener factor.
They better save that, too.
Well, there's not much to save. They said only one of them was normal, hanging down. The other two, like I said, were internal. And a matter of fact, they said you couldn't actually see them. You know, so far deep inside, hiding somewheres in the guy's body, they kind of just stumbled upon him, tripped over him.
Steelers fan Jesus said when you have 3 penises, that's called a hat dick.
That's good.
Is that the medical term, Steelers fan Jesus?
That's absolutely awesome.
I'm jealous I didn't think of that.
All right, so one was there for everyone to see. The other 2 were internal. And the other 2 weren't functional. I guess I'd need some pictures and maybe a little more in-depth information to understand everything that I'm saying here. One was there where it normally should be. The other were internal, and they were not functional. So it's possible, they say, that dead 78-year-old guy never even knew he was blessed like this.
Yeah, I wonder if there were, too bad they can't ask him, but if there were any signs for sure, you're not going to assume you have more than one and certainly 2 more hiding, but maybe there were signs that he had something that was a little different than the rest of
the signs, yeah. Something different had to have been going on with this guy's body, right?
Yeah.
Where he thought, what is that feeling in my stomach? What is that? Wherever, you know.
Maybe even like something would show up in an X-ray or something.
Yeah.
Internal
definitely.
boners.
Yeah.
All right, what else is there to know about this guy? Poor guy checked out.
78, that's pretty good. I think I'd be happy if I made it to 78.
I'd be all right with that age, for sure.
All right, here we go, Josh. The doctors who discovered 2 extra dongs living inside this guy, they think it probably caused him trouble. They say he likely had, a lot of those UTIs.
Ooh,
God. Oh, those are
with his
painful,
one working hanging penis. They say he likely had to battle UTIs.
I had one, and that is awful.
Yep.
How loud did you scream when you discovered? Because I'm guessing, I know I've heard this story before, but I think you discovered you had a UTI when you were urinating.
Yes, I actually recorded it. Yeah, that was it.
They say the guy probably likely had to battle UTIs until the day that he died. And they're also, this isn't fair to say about it. Tell this to his face when he's alive, not after he passed away. They said he probably caught erectile dysfunction, too, along the way.
Oh. You're right. You don't need to make that part public.
No.
So they say it's possible none of his penises worked.
The irony.
Don't include that part in my eulogy, guys, about my ED. I'd prefer if you left that part out.
Oh, we're going to make it up even if it's not true.
Triphallia. 3 peckers. Even diphallia is rare when you have 2, of course. There have only been, how do I say this? I'll get there. There have only been around 100 recorded cases worldwide. 2 dongs, only been 100 of them. Triple dongski, they say it's only the 2nd recorded case. What a story.
And he has no idea.
Never had the opportunity. They say it's likely he never knew, so he never got to spin that story at the bar.
You know, plenty of times throughout history, legends weren't legends until after they passed away. They didn't know the impact they made on others, and he'll never know.
I almost got emotional while you were saying that.
Wherever,
I mean, that's beautifully stated.
If there's a heaven and he's there, I want to make sure and tell him, hey, dude, just so you know, you were talked about afterwards about... And by the way, did you know you had 3 penises? I would assume somebody would have told him when he got up there.
You're talking about when he enters the gates of heaven?
Yeah. Maybe on his way in, St. Peter says, bro, you're not going to believe this.
Yeah. Pull him aside. Pull him out of line. We got to talk to this guy real quick. I wonder how many of our male listeners are rolling on one nut.
I've got a friend who he had it removed. Were you talking about just more born that way, or?
Oh, either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend that has only one too.
Text us. What's our number again? Someone tell me the number.
Go ahead, Wobble.
651-989-9393.
What's pretty cool about my friend is that at the time he was in the Navy, so they actually had they didn't have a surgeon on board or something along those lines. So they had a helicopter fly in a robot that did his surgery to get one of his nuts removed.
Wow. Is that because doctors don't like touching genitalia?
Yeah, that's exactly why.
Did he catch cancer?
Is that what it was?
Yeah, yep, that's what it was.
That was the same with my friend.
Yep, guy I went to high school with. Text in 651-989-9393 if you're cooking on a one wheel drive kind of a thing.
I'm not fat. I'm aerodynamic, Jesus said. Can you brag about your cumulative length if you have 3? Yes, I would add those together.
100%.
Cumulative length.
I think that's fair.
They didn't specify, so their question.
Anyone in our audience have 3 of them?
Oh,
3
somebody
nuts.
just texted in and said, I had a goalie I played hockey with that had 3 nuts. We called him Trinity.
3 nuts?
That's cool. That's
Trinity.
a cool nickname,
Seriously?
too.
That's a real thing?
I never heard of that.
That's a great
Trinity?
That's a great nickname.
Yeah.
That's sweet, yeah.
All right. To check my text messages because that's interesting to me. Uno, we called the guy in high school. I'm sure
a good one,
that
too.
it's not wildly
Yeah.
original, I'm sure, but we called the guy Uno.
Yeah, so far, there's not a lot of text coming in on people having 1 or 2 or 3.
God dang.
Gas Pipe says, is it weird that my right nut's bigger than the other 2? Okay, so there is somebody that has 3.
I don't know if I'm buying this 3. I got a text message here from a listener that says he fell out of a deer stand, ripped his bag open, lost one of his nuts. So, yeah, he's going on 1.
That's not fun.
On a rusty nail, he said.
Hepatitis then, too.
Fell out of it. Hepatitis?
I wouldn't worry about hepatitis.
Who the hell?
Are you thinking of like tetanus?
Oh, yeah, that's the one.
I was going to ask, who has that nail been with?
Either way, I'm guessing that dude would drink a bucket of hepatitis to avoid losing the 1 nut. I don't think he's too worried about that.
Farmington Dad Jesus said he has 3.
I'm fascinated. Okay,
I'm
we're
assuming
gonna have
testicles.
we're gonna have to start taking your word for this. 3 of them. Get back to us. What special tricks can you do that we doubles or singles cannot achieve? 651-989-9393. You 3 nut fellas.
Hillman Welder Jesus said he had a buddy who lost a nut playing the nut tap game. Playing a little sack tap.
Yep, so you don't play that stupid
You got
game.
hit that hard?
Ouch.
There is an urban legend that our gym teachers passed around, I think, just to get us to stop whipping towels at people about somebody losing their nuts in the shower with the towel snap game.
We got that story, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe it
I could
because
believe that
a
happened.
guy that I grew up with had one of his nuts give way on him, and they had to cut it off of him because a gal kneed him there.
Ooh.
She was angry, and she kneed him in the balls, just like you see in the movies. It was just brutal. That evening, he woke up, and one of his nuts was the size of your mother's ass, and it had turned jet black.
Oh, no.
And they had to cut it off of him. There was another dude I played beer league softball with that took a softball to his bag. Same thing. The sumbitch blew up to the size of your skull, and they had to cut that off for him. But there was something said before that, and I lost it. But anyway.
That towel snapping, that's kind of like an art. Some people are really, really good at it.
I
you really
suck at
snap
it.
it, too.
I'm
Can't
pretty
do
good
that
at
whatsoever.
it. I'll take out a nut if I have to. Disc Golf Jesus said he has 3 nipples and a double-barrel shotgun, a.k.a. 2 pee holes.
Oh, wow.
So many interesting people in our listening audience. All right. To completely change gears, keep sending in your texts if you have a special situation like we've been discussing. 651. What's going on, Josh?
The Jesus formerly known as stay-at-home dad Jesus said when you have 3 penises, they call that threeners. I'm easy to please.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are.
I love it.
You've heard this said out loud before. This became a trendy something or another to say a few years ago. The hills that we're willing to die on. You know what that means?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The arguments that we're ready or prepared to.
There's very few things I care to argue about. I figure, go ahead. If somebody thinks that, that's fine.
Yeah, you're the type of guy that'll back down a little easier than others?
It's not even really backing down. It's just that's like, okay, I mean, I feel differently. There's no point. And nowadays, you know how it is, like, used to be able to discussion, but now you'll be mortal enemies if you don't agree on something. You used to be able to not agree, and it wasn't a big deal. So I just figured, hey, you go ahead. I don't need the win. You take it.
Yeah, why waste your energy?
Oh, I'm the type of guy, I never, ever like to lose an argument, and I'll go far beyond a reasonable person's, I'll go far beyond reason in an argument. So again, hills we're willing to die on, otherwise known as arguments where you're willing to go all the way to the point where you come off like a crazy person. And this particular report is on the smallest hills we're willing to die on. I'll be totally honest with you, there's very little interesting about this entire report. Most of it sucks. You've heard it all a million times. But there was one that I circled that I thought it grabbed my attention. So this is a hill that some are willing to die on. Nobody should ever blow their nose in public.
Really?
Yeah, that grosses me out.
Well,
and it never really entered my mind before until this morning when I read it, and I thought, you know what? Maybe I'm on that side. Maybe I agree with that. Why is it, what's the word I'm looking for? A commonplace for people to openly spray mucus into a rag in front of everybody.
Well, I usually try and be discreet to be...
Yeah, but still, you're blowing mucus into a rag.
Well, sometimes you're in a situation, what are you going to do?
Go to the bathroom.
What if you can't? What if you can't?
Well, then you just deal with it until you can.
When I was in school, that was like required. If you had to get up to blow your nose to step out into the hallway, don't do it in front of people. That's
Really?
nasty.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd rather be in front of somebody that blows their nose once for a few seconds than somebody who's just doing the, snip, trying to hold it back in, suck up the snot.
Or you see the snot come down their nose all the time.
Well, yeah, but you can take care of that. You can take care of that without blowing your nose. You can take a tissue and just kind of dab yourself. You don't have to go and the whole spraying of every... this could be the liquor talking, because I've never, ever had this thought in my head until I read that. Nobody should ever blow their nose in public, and I'm starting to go in that direction.
Well, you stick like toilet paper up your nose and stuff.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying I'm not guilty of these things. It's just suddenly this has occurred to me that maybe it is wrong for folks to do that. Go into the bathroom. Wait till there's an opportunity where you're alone. Yeah, I know. I'm guilty too. Although I'm not a nose blower, you guys know that because I don't have the skill set for it. But yes, I will jam toilet paper. I don't know.
Now that I think about it, every time somebody does do that in front of me, I'm like, ugh, can't you do that somewhere else?
Yeah, it happened to me the other night. I was sitting at the bar, and some dude next to me just kept blowing his nose over and over and over again. It took like 5-6 times for me to really notice in the first place. And I thought, get out of here.
Yeah, I certainly would walk away, but I wouldn't be upset with somebody. Like Dana said, it's kind of worse when there's other things going on. And you can hear it's going in a direction it shouldn't go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're swallowing snot.
Oh. I just thought I'd fire it your way. It's something that I am at least briefly passionate about. I'm guessing I'll forget about it within 2-3 minutes, but at least briefly.
Well, there's little things that set you off.
I wanted to question the norm is what I was doing there, Josh. Questioning thought-provoking stuff.
Oh, yeah, really. I agree.
Can you think of anything else that is commonplace for people to do in public that maybe you think is better off behind a closed door?
Well, okay, it's not like I think about this very often. I'm not into PDA. I mean, that's public displays of affection, if you're not familiar.
Oh, you just wait till tonight, Josh.
Not publicly. If you want to pull me aside into a janitor's closet or something, I'll go for it with you. You want to play 7 Minutes of Heaven or whatever it's called, Dana? I'm in.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I'm just never really, even with my wife sometimes, she's like, well, what the hell? Well, I'm just not really comfortable with it.
Yeah, my boyfriend's like that, and it will momentarily piss me off. I mean, the other day we were in a corn maze, and there was people near us, and we finished the corn maze, So I went in for a kiss, and he kind of like dodged me.
Really? Because it is tradition to kiss after you successfully complete a corn maze.
Yeah,
Well, here's the
that
thing,
goes-
though. That goes back 150 years.
Yeah, he said sorry, I don't like kissing in front of people, and I'm like, well, okay.
But a kiss is one thing.
Exactly.
Public displays, like full-on making out, totally different story.
I was like, come on, dude, give me something.
That really should be, it should be against the law once you're clear of junior high. Like the full-on making out in public, I think once you get beyond junior high, it's time to bring that behind friggin' closed doors. Because in a lot of cases, it's friggin' disgusting.
I don't even want to see kids in junior high doing that.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
definitely not.
I feel like that's worse.
Have you guys ever been at the bar before, and there's that couple across the bar just deep into each other,
I mean,
just
I've
making
seen it.
out, hands are going places?
I've been that guy twice in my life, and I still feel miserable.
You don't see it often. You don't see it often. Oh, I've been that guy, too, when I was younger.
Yeah, I was early 20s.
It's acceptable, I think. It's that Wampel said, I don't even think you want to. Well, I don't want to see it either. I'm saying it should only be acceptable up until you get out. And once you get out of junior high, it should be. That's not a bad one, Josh. That's not bad at all.
College roommate and I, we made a joint New Year's resolution one year to stop making out at bars. Not with each other, with randoms.
You guys still made out with each other?
Yeah, we were fine making out with each other, but we had to stop with the randoms.
It can be just gross.
Firefighter Jesus said his wife hates PDA so much, she won't even do it at home.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Go ahead. Make my day.
On 93X.
That's the friggin' deal. Yeah, we're getting ready to pull the plug. Before we go, we were having a conversation, throwing this and that out into the wind and seeing what direction it takes us. Having a conversation about things that are commonplace, things that we do in public that are common, but maybe they shouldn't be. The one that I brought up is blowing your nose. Some are way better at it than others. There's no doubt about that. But just, I don't know, maybe folks should start going behind a door if they're going to spray garbage out of their nose into a friggin' rag. Like I said, I'll forget about it by the end of this broadcast, but I asked you folks, what are some other common things that we do out in public that maybe, at this point, we've all grown up now, they should be done in privacy? Josh brought up public displays of affection, wild making out. What are you, 12? Go somewhere to do that. We don't need to see that gross kind of thing happening. Some people texted in. All right, as far as nose blowing goes. And, Josh has shared his stories. I've shared mine. Both of our dads were snot rag guys.
My dad,
They
too.
kept them in their back pocket. They blow their nose, put the damn thing right back in their pocket. It's an older generation thing. Here's a listener who says, every restaurant we went to growing up, my dad would whip out his friggin' hanky and power blow his nose after he's done eating, regardless if the rest of us were done.
Oh, yeah.
That's the kind of thing I'm talking about.
I'd dismiss myself to the bathroom on either end of that. If I was the dad, to blow my nose, the son to puke all over the place.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I'm talking about.
Yeah, I would hate that when I was a little kid. My dad would come at me with that thing. It's like, Dad, I saw you pick your nose with that. That's disgusting. I don't want anywhere near me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like the nasty hanky coming to like wipe off your face when you're a kid. It's like, oh, get away.
One time I was at a restaurant with some young people and some old people. I need some young people and some old people. Big crowd at a restaurant, and we set it up like this, where in the middle of the table, we all got burgers or whatever. In the middle of the table, we just had a mountain of French fries, right? And you could just sweep them onto your plate. We had a community pile of fries. That's how they ordered it. I don't know. That's how the restaurant operated. So one of the older sumbitches sitting across from me was a heavy smoker, and he had a terrible cough. And at one point during dinner, I was reaching my hand over to that pile of fries to sweep some onto my plate. And the individual, the old-timer, started to cough, and I felt something wet hit my hand.
Oh,
No.
Dude.
He had coughed some lung butter. It escaped his word hole and landed on the back of my hand as I was reaching for the French fries. I was completely polite and didn't say a word.
I'm picturing folks setting their toaster strudel back down on the plate.
Cubby, I got hit in the hand by lung butter.
That's
Yuck,
gross.
dude.
Yeah, I've had some sneeze spittle get on me before.
All right. As far as other things that we do in public, that maybe it's time for a change. Here's a listener who says, pajamas are not clothes to wear in public. Have some self-respect, for God's sake.
That's a good one. I like that one.
That's more recent. It seems like now that's kind of a thing now.
I never did that. Like, I was thinking the other day because I lived by a high school. I was watching like kids walk to class, and like half of them were in pajama pants.
Yep.
And I thought about how when I was in high school and even when I was in college, like I didn't even wear sweatpants to school. I thought it was like people would think I looked too scrubby or worn down.
What about joggers? My wife said the other day I should get a pair of joggers.
No, I'd love to see you in some joggers, Josh.
I don't think I...
What are joggers?
I don't think you could pull it off.
No, I don't think so,
Aren't
Josh,
they kind of
I'll be
like
honest.
yoga pants?
Yeah.
Or am I... No, I don't have that right.
Like a men's version of yoga pants?
Yeah, they're tight at the bottom. And
Yeah.
Josh, if guys wear those, the guys have to have like a donk. You've got to have a butt, or else it looks weird.
Oh, really?
Cubby
Yeah.
got an ass?
No, I don't. I don't know why you say that. I wish I did. Lake Street Handshake Jesus said, how about the speakerphone talker?
Oh, that's a good one, too.
I hate those people.
I wonder why people do that.
What's wrong with you? Stop that.
Those people, and also the voice to text people in public. I cannot stand that.
Oh, sometimes I'll do it quietly. I don't do it loudly.
It's just so annoying. Hey, I'm on my way home. Period. What do you want to do for dinner tonight? Question mark. It's so
I don't experience that, and nor have I seen people wearing pajamas in public. I don't have these problems that you people are having. I guess we hang out with different crowds.
Yeah,
but
it's a young person thing.
Some of this stuff is, behavioral type things like you're describing, talking loud on your phone, or, I guess I would maybe chalk wearing pajamas in public up as something more behavioral, where some of the stuff, like we started the conversation with nose blowing, is just more gross and unsightly. And here's one. A listener said he was out at a bar and he watched a guy across the bar, just in front of everybody, reach up and crack a zit on his forehead.
Oh, no.
And then just kind of, with his thumb and index finger, like, there was some juice in there, and then he went back to drinking his beer. Don't be popping your zits at the bar in public. But that's horrible.
I've accidentally scratched my privates in front of people where it's just, instinctual almost, and all of a sudden I go, oh my God, I'm scratching my junk.
It's only natural.
The pinch and roll or something like that,
Yeah.
and I'll go, oh, geez, what am I doing?
It's only natural that you might. Okay. Yeah, sure. Itching your armpits, picking at your butt crack. Yeah. That's more where I was headed. Some of these things, maybe at this point, it's time to find a private spot to do that. What should folks know before we leave town for our casino beer party, Josh? What are we up against today?
Well, first and foremost, we want the people of Minnesota to know we are going to miss you. We are going to miss our home state, but we're looking forward to spending a little time in Wisconsin. Tonight, St. Croix Casino, Turtle Lake, in their sports book, really nice new bar that they put in there. We're going to be hanging out, make your sports bet, eat some food, drink whatever you want to drink, starting at 6 tonight. Yeah,
Yep.
6 o'clock tonight. Is that 6 to 9 is the official time, but whenever you want to come or however long you want to stay. Tomorrow, the broadcast, you can get in there starting at 5. Broadcast starts at 5:40, breakfast at 7. Then tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, there's a dinner, and just kind of everybody gets a little lubed up for the concert at 8 with Jesse James Dupree. So those are the official times, and then obviously, there's plenty of things going on in between.
I think drinks start at 7 too tomorrow.
You talk about
7 a.m.
7 a.m. for the broadcast.
Yeah, alcohol.
What's the term I'm searching here for? Like a preemptive strike? Should we give a preemptive apology for tomorrow's on-location broadcast while we have the time here?
Probably a good idea.
Just the quality. Is that what you're referring
Yes.
to? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, don't expect much. And we apologize for that.
We're working with the best we got.
It's not a lack of effort or desire to put on a quality show. It's just you're hamstrung a little bit.
But thank you, everybody who's already made plans weeks ago to join us in Wisconsin, Turtle Lake Casino, starting tonight.
Oh,
one more note, and maybe you're thinking the same thing. On our website,
yes,
What's that gimmick again where folks who haven't already bought their way into this or that could join us?
They call it a land package, which is something it sounds like you could get on a Range Rover.
Yes.
Yes, they're calling it a land package, and that gets you into all the official 93X events.
So you're not screwed. If you haven't done anything about it yet, you're not screwed. Go to our website, look for that land package, and we're gonna have a wonderful time.
Yeah, and come up and say hi. Just if you're getting out there.
Well, maybe I don't know about that.
All right, so not necessarily to Nick. You have to go through a few screeners before Nick. But for anybody else, come up and say hi. Make sure you do, please. I think that's pretty. Did we cover everything?
Yeah, I think we got it.
We're going to be all right, and we're going to head out this afternoon and get the party started. So again, thanks to. Devani's, St. Croix Casino, Turtle Lake. We'll dump all these thanks out tomorrow, but while we're on working microphones, we might as well take opportunity to do that.
That's true. Nothing might work from here on.
We'll be broadcasting tomorrow from Wisco.
Shout out to Freshly Squeezed Jesus, a first-time texter, and happy 3rd anniversary to Too Clean Seal Coating Jesus and his smoke show, amazingly beautiful wife.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Hey, Ashley here. Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Have a boiler? Save $40 on your boiler tune-up. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings. Stay cozy, stay ready.